Almirola and Kyle Busch.
Where success requires racing close.
Johnson's on the move.
But not too close.
And now gets turned by William Byron.
The Geico 500.
Nearly a dozen cars involved.
Sunday at 1 on the Motor Racing Network.
It's the Geico 500 this Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
I only do things incredible can, cause I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good morning, KTC Broadcasting Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin Hastings, Texas Terry Reinhardt, Hunter Yancey, and Tom Stefani. And of course, I'm always your JP.
I was thinking the same thing.
DJ. So
we were both thinking the same thing. Like Terry's the only one with a nickname today.
It's okay.
With a nickname.
hey, I'm JP. I mean, that's my nickname. So,
That's your initials.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but still, it's a nickname.
Yeah, I mean, but we're not out here calling you like Pennsylvania JP, you know.
Well,
You know, actually, I actually have a nickname called Pennsylvania. I actually have a nickname called Pennsylvania Prather. So
Pennsylvania Prather.
Hell, there you go. There's your real nickname.
That sounds like the.
I got 25.
That sounds like a manhunt or something that we're all looking for.
My take on Indiana Jones.
Pennsylvania Prather. Good morning, everybody. It's Mitchem's Kitchen Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Terry Reinhardt, Tom Stefani, Hunter Yancey. I'm Kevin Hastings, and we are, I guess, finishing up breakfast. Tom hadn't got started on his. Hunter, you done with yours?
I did. Yeah,
Done
I
with
am.
yours? Terry,
I'm done.
what'd you have, Terry?
I had oatmeal, bologna, 2 scrambled eggs.
Last week it was just me and Terry, and he had like just a biscuit.
Yeah.
And then this week he's got the big plate. Did you have the same thing I had this week again?
Yeah.
Chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit, folks. They're good.
Delicious.
Chicken patty, egg, and cheese on a biscuit. I'm about halfway through mine. We're gonna get to that in just a few minutes. Tom, what you eating on today? Supposedly, we need to get your mic way closer to you. So you have to maybe get your seat
I'm going to eat
lower.
my traditional bacon, egg, and cheese, but really what I've been eating for breakfast is this article on Duke. It's another 5-star commit. Here's his stat, Terry. 21 5-star prospects enrolled at Duke. 15 were one and done, Terry.
Well,
kind of like these biscuits from Mitchem's Kitchen. You eat one of these, you're done because you're full for the rest of the morning. So they're definitely one and done biscuits from Mitchem's Kitchens, but I just thought that was interesting.
have they fired the coach at Duke yet?
No, but I think they need to pay the players more than they're paying him. Whatever they're paying him.
I was about to
much.
ask you, did they release the player's salary?
No, they
didn't.
But it's 21
Imagine
5.
that.
15
Did they
were
release
one
the
and
player's
done.
salary?
12 were first round.
They didn't say how much he signed for?
No.
No, that's
Man.
they don't publish that.
Not real sports reporters.
Well, I mean, Terry, if you had 3 top 10 picks on your team, shouldn't you have at least made the Final Four? Shouldn't you fire the coach if you can't make the Final Four with 3 top 10 NBA picks?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to name drop, but I've seen Roy Williams do more with less.
Tom and pull the knob, and you'll drop down.
I have seen Roy Williams do more with less.
I mean,
he won a national championship with a walk-on.
3 top 10 picks, and whatever. There you go.
Roy
there
Williams
you go.
did?
Yeah. Luke May, walk-on.
Oh, wait a minute. That was somebody else's players, wasn't he? Wasn't
His
Luke May
first one
part of
was.
Doherty's players?
His first one were Matt Doherty's.
First one's
Yeah.
not the second
what I
or
thought.
third one.
Yeah, Rashad McCants in May, and they were definitely Matt Doherty
I was
players.
talking
Yeah.
about the walk-on and Luke May,
Oh, okay.
the legend of Luke May.
Well, folks, we got all kinds of things to talk about today. Let's go down the rundown of things to cover today. Of course, we've got NASCAR racing from Daytona today, guys. The Chevys looked good last week in a non-stricter plate race, Terry. So maybe the Chevys are figuring something out a little bit. We'll get into that in here in just a little bit. We've got NBA free agency, of course. Big news. In a Kawhi Leonard type fashion, releases his
we have been
announcement
watching for
at 3
days.
a.m., wasn't it? Something like that? I went to bed at 1.
Well,
mad that we didn't get to talk about it today.
Yeah, I think it was 3
And I woke
a.m.
up
our time.
at 5, I think,
Yeah.
or 5:30ish, and I look and I'm like, my goodness, really?
Yeah.
While we went to bed on a Friday night. So we're going to talk about that, folks. We got Kawhi Leonard nudes. Hunter did a scouting last night.
Terry
for
watched
this
some
show
of it too.
to watch Zion Williams. Did you watch Zion some last night, Terry?
Watch a little bit
Well,
of it.
you guys have nothing to do you?
What else? I mean, what else was on really to watch?
I don't know. You can watch a documentary on the 4th of July or something. Happy
was the
4th of
5th.
July for everybody. The spirit is
gone.
It's
the day
not even the
after.
weekend, Tom, and he's
I'm
done
tired. I don't want to hear fireworks anymore. I'm just.
I tell you what, though, with all these earthquakes out there in Los Angeles, I'm surprised he's going out there. They had another 7.1.
That was on my list of things to get into.
Holy
today.
cow! 2 earthquakes. Yeah, let me go out there. I think I
I
might have just stayed there in
Yes.
Toronto.
This is what's so crazy. It was 2 earthquakes, and the center of it was in the same spot. And I think I read somewhere someone scientific term is like it's still unstable ground right there,
I
just
heard
from
that.
where they're
That's
shaking.
definitely the scientific term of California.
They
well,
were,
it's not just
they
that,
were
but it's-
overdue.
there's-
They were overdue. Is
Yeah.
what they were supposed to have one a while
Uh-huh.
back. Yeah.
They were overdue for earthquake, but what it is they're afraid because what it was, there was the first one that was like 6 point something. The next one was a 7.1. They're afraid that it's gonna, if it doesn't like stable out a little bit, that they're gonna have another one. There's a 1 in 20 chance they're having another one today that's bigger.
I don't think and say so. Hunter's not old enough, obviously, and people, if you're pretty much younger than me, really, because I'm just barely old enough to remember the ones in was it 90 or 88, 89, 90, somewhere around in there,
Where
in the World
the
Series.
bridges and all collapsed.
And,
And
I mean,
everything
the
else out there,
the
yeah.
complete destruction that an earthquake can cause, and these small, 7 ain't small, but they haven't had anything really go bad yet for it. But you guys, you think that, you see these hurricane images and it's just and think they're bad and all the water and the knockdown houses, but when you're talking massive transit bridges and just falling and building after building after building after building after falling, it is, the images are insane, and seeing the cracks in the roads and the fires because all the gas lines are breaking.
Did you see
and
the
there's
video?
nowhere to go. It's
Yeah.
like, so if you're in a hurricane, you can get in a car and outrun it, basically. But if an earthquake, you're trapped wherever you are, and it's.
You
is
can
scary.
have pre-tremors. That's the only way you can figure out
Yeah.
whether or not one's coming. But even then, like, where are you going to go? They felt that earthquake in Las Vegas, and it was 150 miles above Los Angeles. And did you see how bad the camera was shaking on that
Yeah.
video from the Dodgers
was,
and Padres game? None of the players even knew it was happening. They were just playing. But that
That's
camera,
crazy, isn't it?
that is
I
crazy.
was wondering if the
Is it
umpire
because-
don't feel that?
Is
and
it
call
is
time,
the
or-
stadium? This is gonna sound stupid, like just to word it like this, but is it earthquake proof? Like did
Well,
they? Where
if you ask Tom and Terry about this, the umpires are so in tune to not paying attention to what their surroundings that
I didn't
earthquakes
see
are going
fans
off.
go
They're not
crazy,
calling time.
though.
They don't know. They're
I
just
didn't
in
see,
tune.
yeah, I
to the
didn't see
next
the
pitch.
fans go crazy though behind the plate either. They're just like mesmerized by what's next.
And most of the people, you have to understand it, most of them people are getting up. The ones that really know what it is are getting up trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
And other people are like, where are
Oh,
you going?
One
that
thing on
summer
that-
league game, man, they were getting up
Yes.
fast.
One thing on the camera shot
Yeah,
is that you got to remember that was a zoomed-in shot, so
Yeah.
any movement is going to make it look
Dude.
shakier than it is.
He was
so
just
that
like-
shot that's a behind-the-picture
they
zoomed-in
kept showing
shot.
that shot on Sports Center, and I was getting sick. I
Yes,
was like,
it was
can
worse.
we
That's
stop?
worse than what it actually
Yeah.
was.
I was out, not like just sick watching, but like just the motion from it. I was like, dude, you're giving me a headache right now. Please stop showing
we
this.
had one in this area not too long ago. I can't remember exactly when.
There's a fall line around here.
yeah, and it's like like in the middle of the night.
So you felt it for?
Just
I-
like a little. It's like
Yeah, there was one a
could you
few
imagine,
years ago.
Could you imagine something 7-8 on a Richter scale?
I don't think we have a fault line quite as
What
big
were
as
the
the
ones,
ones in
Tom? Do you
California.
remember what the ones were in '90 or any
I can't
recollection?
remember offhand. I have to look up what it was, but I just remember the picture. Remember they were zooming in on Jose Canseco, and he was like getting ready to bat.
I
and then
mean,
all of a sudden it was
Disney,
everything
no,
fell out.
Universal Studios made a movie and a ride out of it.
Yeah.
I've rode the ride. Have you? Any of either of y'all rode the ride down there at Universal? The Earthquake. I don't know if they have it anymore. I think they took it out.
I've only
But
been
you
to
rode
Universal once. I was
a
little.
tram, and the tracks just broke and shook you in fire and all this other stuff, and so it was. They made a ride out of it. That was just.
They made a ride out
they
of a
wouldn't do that-
natural tragedy.
They wouldn't do that today at all. Yeah.
No, I think it's a
about
little
that.
frowned upon in
Well,
today.
see, it was after the movie, so they made the movie
Uh-huh.
about it, and then they made a ride out of it to sell more.
They said it was only 6.9, the 89 earthquake in San Francisco.
So it hit right on the city. Is that why it caused so much
probably,
damage?
probably.
And we got to remember, San Francisco is pretty much sitting. It has no grounding base. It's sitting on water, right? I mean, it's the whole. I'm saying, the whole. Even the underground is not that stable, is what I'm told.
I think what the conspiracy is going to be is Donald Trump made it earthquake in California because it's too liberal.
Well, they said it was. They said what happened was that it was a Woj bomb.
A Woj bomb.
A Woj bomb. I don't know if you older fellas know
It was a
about that.
pre-Woj bomb
Adrian
because he was
Wojciechowski,
prepared.
that's what they
He was
call
getting
his
ready to
breaking
drop the
news is Woj
Kawhi Leonard
bombs.
news.
And he found what it was when they made the call to Wojciechowski. He put his phone down, and that was the earthquake. It
Like,
was.
does he live 150 miles above Los Angeles?
I don't know where he
Don't know
might.
where he lives. I don't.
Oh goodness! All right, let's see. We've got Major League Baseball to talk about. We got All-Star Weekend and week coming up. We've got Marlins and Braves to get into. We've got standings and stats. American Legion to talk about. We've got NBA, like we said. We've got Raptors, Warriors, Kemba, free agency, Zion, Kawhi. NFL coming up soon, as well as high school and college football. PGA Tour golf, we're going to touch on that. And, of course, NASCAR racing today on KTC Broadcasting.
Packed show. Packed
Daytona. All right, JP, you ready for a break in there? All right, let's take our quick break. We'll come back, get reorganized, and we'll get the show off and started and get into some complaining from, I think Hunter's got some to do. So we've got a bunch of Wizards moves this week. That's what I wanted to say. And between Wizards and Hornets, Hunter can't wait for the NBA season next year.
I know. I was talking to my buddy yesterday, and he was a Hornets fan, and we were talking about everything that's transpired. And I was like, I'm in no better boat, buddy. I'm a Wizards fan.
So I'm gonna
I like the Hornets because it's their home team, but
right. I'm going to make a statement, see if all four of you agree with me here. Going into next season, the NBA championship, it's maybe the most wide open it's ever been in the last since Jordan retired.
I agree.
Possibly.
Yeah,
possible.
If you're gonna
every year, there's always been one stud team,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
If
For
you're
the
gonna
most part.
If you're gonna talk like wide open between Western teams and Eastern teams,
Right.
I agree.
So with
I
us saying that, well, we got an exciting season to talk about. Before we go to the break, see if all four of you agree with me on the next statement. With that,
I probably will because I said it yesterday.
with that statement, guys, Tom, you ready? That it's wide open. Do all four of our teams have absolutely no chance of the wide open championship? Wizards, Cavs, Celtics, and Hornets.
We always have a chance.
You don't have no chance
I'll
next
just-
year, Terry.
We always have a
East
chance.
Hey, welcome to
We're
reality,
good.
Terry.
We are
Y'all are
Boston.
done.
We
Cavaliers
are
are definitely a JV team these days.
I'll tell this to you at the break, and we can talk about it when we
right.
come out of the break.
All right, JP, let's go to break. We'll be back in a minute on KTC Broadcasting.
Up front, 3 wide. What a move for Chase Elliott.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series
It is now 4 wide.
heads back to Talladega.
Chase Elliott goes 3 wide on Eric Almirola and Kyle Busch.
Where success requires racing close,
Johnson's on the move.
but not too close.
And now gets turned by William Byron.
The Geico 500.
Nearly a dozen cars involved.
Sunday at 1 on the Motor Racing Network.
It's the Geico 500 this Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
It's time to play at the Green Meadows Golf Course on Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. Weekends just $30. Seniors ride and play Monday through Friday for $20. And every Wednesday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for just $15. So make your tee time now by calling the Green Meadows Golf Course, 704-827-9264. Green Meadows Golf Course, 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly.
There you go, Ann. Your new account is now open. Just one more little thing.
Here's your card.
What was that?
It's my new bank. Every time I turn around, I get hit with another fee.
You need to get an account at Carolina Federal Credit Union.
She's right.
Tired of getting hit by bank fees? Switch to Carolina Federal Credit Union today. Make those pains go away.
Here's your receipt.
Now's the time to buy your new Kubota from Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Right now, pay zero money down. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months. Come on in now for all the details. All for good on the Kubota BX Series, the Kubota B Series, the Kubota L Series, and the Kubota MX Series tractors. Again, zero money down and 0% APR financing for 60 months. Get your new Kubota today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain.
It's time to tee it up at Kings Mountain Country Club, open to the public 7 days a week. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for $40. And seniors 55 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $24. For your tee time, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club, 100 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. I was sending to you guys in the studio.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, JP. We're finishing up our biscuits in here from Mitchem's Kitchen, 704-276-1155. Up in Vale on the corner of Highway 27 and 274, mitchemskitchen.com. Check them out on Facebook. Terry, a little bit of everything to eat up there, don't they?
They do. A little bit of all. You take them, Carol and Robin will set you straight for the day. If you're wanting to eat out, go up there and get hamburgers. You got breakfast up until probably 10:30 to get that. And then after that, it'll be lunch. And then you got dinner after that. And got great fish, great barbecue, great chicken tenders. I mean, you name it, and they got it.
Mitchem's Kitchen, you need a spokesperson. You got Texas Terry Reinhardt sitting right here waiting for a sponsorship.
All right, in just a little bit, we're going to get into the American Legion update and standings, playoff updates, and what's going on. Hunter was at a game last night. But first of all, that was the plan to get into that first. But, you know, like we said, Kawhi dropped a bomb on us last night about 3 a.m.
In Kawhi fashion.
And
days after everybody else.
So kind of what's been happening. And you know, I'm going to say it from a personal standpoint, I'm glad I'm glad he didn't join the Lakers.
Yes, I agree.
For about 5 different reasons.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a couple, and you guys can
go ahead.
Join another. I didn't understand the point of, let's say Kawhi's got 2 championships, right? KD's got 2 championships. Why would you join LeBron?
Yeah.
And no matter how many ever championships you win, he's got more.
Yeah.
So let's say we play the next 5 years out. Let's say Kawhi wins 2. Let's say Kevin Durant wins 2. Now 2 other small forwards during LeBron's career and era have more championships than he does. That's what they could be going for. And going for the top 10 in the pantheon of players and stuff. Or if he joined LeBron, I think he would have lost all those chances. He wins 4 or 5. Maybe he does kind of like what Kobe did when Shaq left, wins 2 more with somebody else. And then let's say it would have. I'm not saying they would have. They should have. If they were together, they should have won a championship. But with 3 players that don't shoot threes, they would have to sign like 5 or 6 players in today's game because the Warriors could still shoot them out of a game with Clay and Steph.
Oh yes.
So that's something that I would concerned about basketball wise. If he's joining the Lakers and they don't get enough shooting to keep up, how would they get? Because that's 3 kind of one-on-one players. I mean, LeBron's game is take to the hole and just bully ball you. Kawhi's is one-on-one. Now he pull from anywhere. Kawhi will, But
Yeah.
Anthony Davis needs space to operate
He
too.
does.
So I didn't think that matched up well. I thought it would be nice for him to run it back in Toronto like a 2-year deal and say, let's defend the title.
I think
with
a
these
lot of people
guys.
thought if he stayed, it would have just been like for a 1 year.
You know, defending the title says something.
Yeah.
But legacy wise, and the whole time, I thought this was the best thing for him would be go to the Clippers, because if he gives a championship in Toronto, and if he can get a championship to the Clippers. Now remember, the Clippers, there's 3 teams in NBA history who've never been in a conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
The Hornets, the Pelicans, and the Clippers.
Okay.
If he can get them just to the Western Conference Finals, that's something the
That's a
franchises
win.
never did. And if he gets them a championship, that's
Oh,
legacy
well,
right
I
there.
got a bomb. I'll just drop
So go
whenever
ahead.
it's my turn. The Los Angeles Clippers are my favorite to possibly win the West next
Well, we
year.
discussed this 3 weeks ago. Were they not whoever Kawhi signs? They're the favorite.
Well, that's
We thought.
not the only reason.
And then
why.
they added
Paul
George. That's what I was about to
team.
say. Not only,
Instead of Gallinari, they got Paul
yeah,
George.
not only did they get Kawhi Leonard, they got. I was talking to Terry about this. MVP discussed this past season. People forget that he is just as good of a two-way player as Kawhi Leonard is. He's not, and Kawhi Leonard can set up the 3 because Paul George is 6'10". He can play the power forward position, and he can shoot threes. They are, and not only, but I think they also have the better coach. I think they have one of the best coaches in the NBA. They've retained Doc Rivers for all this time. What he was able to do with them, they kept Patrick Beverly. That's a little bull playing right there at point guard. He can get in everybody's face. So I think that the Clippers, hands down, are the favorite to win the Western Conference. And I know a lot of people say, oh, how can you say that? LeBron James is going to be 100% healthy next year. And everywhere LeBron James, I'm like, wait a minute. LeBron James is 35 years old. He's going to be going on 36. Okay, he's not getting any younger. Not only that, Kyle Kuzma's still a baby. He's not a guaranteed star. Anthony Davis is not going to want to play this kind of ball he's probably going to be asked to play, which is stand in the corner and become more of a stretch 4 than play your back to the basket. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be right off the bat working. At least with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, you got 2 players right there that can create their own shot. They're not dependent on somebody giving them the ball like Anthony Davis is going to be. So to me, if you're just going to go off of which team that already has 2 stars would be favored to win in the West, then I'm going to give it to the Clippers, and especially because, you know, Klay Thompson is still out with the Warriors with the ACL. They lost Kevin Durant. So I think that the parity in the NBA because of this move by Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers is great. Like you said before the break, I think there's multiple teams that could win it. But if you ask me today who's the favorite to come out of the West, I'm definitely going with the Clippers. Really, not only just because Kawhi Leonard went there. I know he's a game changer. To me, he's the best player in the game right now while Kevin Durant's out with Achilles. But the fact that they added Paul George with him as well, those 2 guys combined, I think they both averaged 26 last year. So there you go. That's already 50 points on the floor for you.
Hey, Kevin, scroll back up to the top there. This is a great site. Anyway, I mean, I've never seen this before. Is this saying that the Clippers still have $33 million of cap room to sign?
No, well, that's because if you scroll down, this hasn't been updated. Kawhi,
yeah, how much
his
is he gonna
contract
make?
is not
35
in there
million.
yet.
Okay, so they're gonna be over.
Yeah,
have to
once
pay
they
the
sign
penalty.
him, because
Okay.
they've got the Paul George already on the deal. So once they put Kawhi's in there,
and Los Angeles is already over the cap.
They have. Let's see if anybody else. It looks like it, because they signed Danny Green and somebody else. Danny Green's not even on that list right now. So there may
No.
be something that hasn't been updated on it. So it's the trade machine. You go in here, and the best part of it. So during the season, you want to know if the contracts work out, because the way the trades work in the NBA, excuse me, if you're above the salary cap, if you make a trade with, you have to get back. You have to be the salaries have to match.
Okay.
If you're below the salary cap and you make a trade, you can take back all the money you want.
Okay.
But so when they say, well, we got to match salaries, that's what it is the teams are over the salary cap.
Okay.
So you can do this and you hit this big button right here, and it tells you if the trade works or not. So
Okay.
yeah, I like this one in the regular season, because this is the one also. you can kind of you can get all the rosters on it too, and it tells how much people make. So that's the one I like to pull up and get in here and just lose my mind over this with these guys right here. So Batum $25 million, Biombo $17 million a year. Hunter,
he's got 1 year left on his contract, and so does Marvin Williams. Picked up his player option though. We're on the Hornets now, but did you have anything to comment on about the Clippers?
No.
Do you think Kawhi's the favorite? They're the favorite now. Is there a favorite?
I don't know. I mean, somebody's got to take it away from Golden State.
I just said he's the favorite in the West. We didn't even talk about the East.
Well, Clay's supposed to be back in January, so
it's not going to be till January.
I mean,
all they got to do is pick up another shooter.
As long as he's there for the playoffs, I don't care.
I mean, they got D'Angelo Russell, but I think he's a trade piece.
I mean,
so you got Clay and Steph,
and they still have Draymond Green, the best player in the NBA.
Exactly right. Terry Ryan.
I think definitely the champ's got to be dethroned. They've been there and they've been there. Of course, now that you've got Leonard there, he's been there and won a couple titles. So I mean, I think Hunter made a pretty good case for him. But the thing that I like to go a little different route is I think it will be interesting in the West. I think because now you got the Clippers and you got the Lakers who have added. You still got Golden State. Don't completely forget about Houston. And some of the other teams in there. So
I think Houston's hit a wall right now. The only reason why I didn't count them is because the rumor is that the owner is not tied to D'Antoni at all anymore. He's about ready to ship off D'Antoni, and I would be perfectly fine with that if I was a Houston fan, because I don't think it's your players' problems. I think you've had good enough players. I think it's been D'Antoni's system the whole time. That's not a championship winning system. I do think Portland got better.
Get ready to say, don't forget about Portland.
I think Portland got better. Yeah. I think everything that the Jazz did makes them at least the top 3 team in the West, because they were already pretty good last year. So the West is going to be interesting. I just think the core makeup of players and the fact that they do have the 2 stars, like everybody's trying to say you got to have at least 1 or 2. I think the Clippers have the best tandem of stars, because I know you said Kawhi wouldn't have really mixed with LeBron and Anthony Davis, because I don't know if Anthony Davis and LeBron are even going to mix. I think on paper it looks pretty, but on the court I'm not sure if it translates. But I think Paul George and Kawhi instantly. That's good defense on both sides with Patrick Beverley at the guard position. And like I said, if they were to continue to average what they averaged last year, that's 50 points.
Here's what I'm wondering about it, and I guess that this is what that's how they're gonna run it. So LeBron and AD make a killer pick and roll combo.
Yeah.
Neither one of them's a sharpshooter at 3 like, say, Durant and Clay are.
But LeBron can shoot the 3
right,
now.
He can,
better than he used
and
to.
And Davis can. What I was getting at is they're more of a modern-day Karl Malone, Stockton combo, and they'll be kicking it out to guys in the 3. So how many times are teams just going to let LeBron and Anthony Davis just take 2s and dunk on them and they just try to out-3 them? Houston's will do that. Houston will let LeBron and Anthony Davis do layups and dunks.
Well, they don't play no defense anyway. So.
Same thing.
Golden State will too.
Yeah,
so they're both going to try to shoot them out of the game for 4 out of 7 games.
Danny Green adds a little bit of shooting to him. Kyle Kuzma can hit the 3 as well.
I mean, if you're saying that, Portland's going to do the same thing.
Portland still got the best backcourt in the West.
Look what Portland has added. Here they just traded. Did you see the big trade that they re-signed Rodney Hood, and Nurkic is going to be back. But they just traded for Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah. That's why
maybe the best rebounding and defending center in the whole league. So now the West has got some big men to deal with.
Oh, and I totally forgot
and
about
he's
this team. You
challenge
had pulled
Anthony
up on the
Davis
right.
and LeBron. Yeah, I just pulled that. That's my favorite in the
What hurts
West.
them, though, I think the most, I think Michael Porter Jr. was going to be a real big help. I think they said that he tweaked something. I don't know how serious it is. I think they said he tweaked something in his first summer league game.
What you got? I'm seriously, man. You've got. I forgot about Denver too. I mean,
they were the 2 seed.
They had.
Don't forget Utah.
Yeah, they had it. I mean, it's wide open.
But Denver added the secret weapon
San Antonio's
this year.
not going to be
You're
bad
starting to
either.
say Bowl.
Denver added the secret weapon this year, boys. Bowl to Denver. Woo! I'm just telling you.
You know,
Jamal
pull up.
Murray
You know,
got
you haven't
paid.
talked much about the East. Pull up the. You know, the Nets got Durant and Kyrie. Did they add anything else?
They got DeAndre Jordan, who they wanted.
That's the only
come
team
with.
in the East they're really talking about.
Yes, they got DeAndre.
And, I mean, Walker went to the
But
Celtics.
I don't know why
They're not
being-
going to be that good.
I was
this
gonna say
year.
I don't know why they're going to be
this
talked about so much because KD's not going to play at all.
I mean, they're going to be okay. I think they can be a 7th or
'Cause
8th
he's
place
hurt.
team.
I think they might not make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there'll be a 7th or 8th place team to me, but
Are they not the Charlotte Hornets this year?
Kyrie
Kyrie and
doing
Kemba are the
guard
same
thing.
thing.
They are the same
they
thing.
are
If
the
Kyrie
same.
Irving doesn't win championships
I
with LeBron,
think-
Kemba
But he's
and
not getting
Kyrie
higher
are
than
the
like a
same.
7 or 8 seed, is he?
I
Terry?
think. Well, this is how I look at it. I
With Joe
think
Harris?
the Nets bench and the players that'll be on the court with Kyrie will make them better.
Chris
than what the
LeVert
Hornets
is a
have.
good player. Rondé Hollis Jefferson's decent.
They got Theo.
They got Theo. He can come off the bench. I mean, he plays good defense.
That's what I'm saying.
They-
I mean, is that roster better than the Hornets though?
But
I do.
But
You really think?
Without
I know. I think that I
Yeah.
think that's a lot better than the Hornets because this is what I have to say about the Hornets.
bad.
Colin Cowherd makes a lot of. He says a lot of stuff that I agree with, and this is one of the main things I really agree with, and I'll see if you guys agree with this as well. He said, for you to be a contending team and a competitive team in the NBA, you have to show to me that you can score 75 points as soon as you walk in the building with the players that you have. I don't think that roster makeup, if you went by point average,
I've always said
point
two
average,
guys need to get 50.
Yeah.
That's
point
been mine.
average.
Two guys need to get 50.
Like you average out the starters and the bench players for the Hornets.
But
I don't
three
think
at
any of
7.
it comes out to 75 points. That's what made Golden State so dangerous with Kevin Durant is that's 75 points in 3 players. Steph, Clay, and Kevin could all get 25 in one night. That's 75 points, and you just got to say, hey, now the rest of you guys
All
just
right,
go out
if
there
you
and
was
hit
Brooklyn
10s.
and you were Kyrie,
Yeah. But
Now
does
stay
that make
with me
sense?
here.
Because I agree with your statement about the 50, but does that make sense, though? You need to be able to prove that
I
you
would
can
tweak
get to a
my
certain
knee.
point.
sometime during preseason, or I'd miss this whole year.
that's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. Think about it. Now, I don't think their roster's that good.
I
I
think it's
definitely
good
don't
enough
think they
for
can make the
playoffs.
playoffs if Kyrie's not there.
No, if
Exactly.
Kyrie doesn't play,
Well,
they're not gonna make it.
LeBron tanked last year and they got the whatever pick it was, 3rd.
No, 4th, and they
4th?
traded it to the Pelicans.
Right. So they turned that into
Who
Anthony
traded it to
Davis.
the Hawks. Who
So
tra-
why wouldn't Brooklyn say, Kyrie, man, how you ankle feeling sore tonight? You probably shouldn't play tonight. I would do that 30 times next year. Back to backs.
If I was Kyrie, I would pull.
I would
a
try not to
Kawhi.
make the playoffs.
I would
No,
pull.
I
I
would.
would put a. I would
get a
pull
better
Kawhi.
draft pick to add with. Get a
Yeah.
a good wing player next year to add with.
I'd pull a Kawhi Leonard and say I need load
What if
management.
they pick the best shooter in the draft next year to add on that
Well,
team?
then you'd have to re-sign Jordan again because he's only there for the year.
But they'll get him next year probably for like $12 million.
Yeah, he took
$10
a league
million.
minimum. I think they.
He's got
said
22
he took-
now. He's not getting
Yeah.
that next year. Not a
No,
center that can't
no.
shoot anymore.
No, I don't think they
Or centers
updated
can't
that.
shoot. Period. But
Did they? Did they? Is that updated? I thought he had got a league minimum.
Dellavedova's getting
1 year.
$9.6 million a year.
yeah, welcome to Charlotte Hornets land, Tom.
Dellavedova's getting 9.6.
How about this? With
million.
Marvin Williams' contract this year, he's now made more in his career than Michael Jordan has. Kimba made, all of them. Jordan made $93 million in his career. Not everyone that's signing
You
this year
want
is
to pull
getting
up
more
the
than one
point
contract
average?
than he
You
ever
want
got
to
in
pull
his
up the
career.
point average for the players that are on the Charlotte Hornets
Yeah.
roster right
How
now?
is J.R.
I want to
Smith
ask you
still
something,
No,
though,
you don't.
guys. And this is
J.R.
just
Smith's
my
still on
question.
the
This is for the whole world.
Uh-huh.
We're starting to see this max stuff. Now it's growing into 35 million. It won't be long. It's going to be 40 or 50
It goes up every
million.
year.
No, Kimba's last year, if you do the math on it, it was for 1 year, $80 million basically if he stayed in Charlotte. But if you pull it out, it would have been $44 million a year. You'd have been paying Kimba $44 million.
That's what I'm saying.
At what point did and here?
When
do
does
you
this
think,
stop?
Do you think that has something to do with
Yeah, I
Jordan?
know. When is it no longer profitable to have a franchise?
Well, do you think that has something to do with Jordan saying, "Man, I made $35 million 1 year. I damn sure ain't paying Kimba Walker more than I made." Does that not? I mean, do you think
No.
that crosses his mind?
No,
Because
but
they're
those
saying
inflation
it's a
adjusted
luxury
dollars.
tax.
Well, here's
That's
the
what
thing.
I mean,
Well, Jordan
I
bought the
don't know how
team.
in the world you get across with paying these guys this kind
But
of
what I
money.
Jordan bought the team for like $250 million, his part, and these guys are getting contracts. The baseball contracts,
They're
the
making
three
that.
baseball players got more money. Trout
Yeah, they
and
got like $1 billion.
Arenado and all them got more money than Jordan made his whole life and bought the Bobcats for in one contract.
This is what I don't
Baseball.
understand. I don't know And I told my buddy this yesterday. I was like, the Hornets would be just as good if they fired everybody in their front office and took Joe Blows like me and you, because it seems like we're the only ones that can see these things going into motion.
We would actually do better because we get a top 3 pick.
Yeah, we get the top 3. But what did we say last year? And you alluded to this. I agreed with you. You probably agreed. If you knew you couldn't sign him, why didn't you trade him?
Yeah.
The dumbest.
Just like you've got the 1-year contracts right here, and you know good and well you're not signing Bismack
roast the
Biyombo
Hornets
back.
time, Tom.
You
You ready
are
for
not
this?
signing Kid Gilchrist back. Trade him for. I don't care if it's for nothing. It'll probably help with what cap.
Somebody
problem
would
you
have gave him a first-round pick, maybe 2. You could have got a player for Kim. You could have got all kinds of things for Kim.
The Lakers wanted him so bad at one point. They had the number 4 pick. You could have signed and traded Kemba for that 4th pick. Or I don't understand. And you could have got who I think, they said it's a 3-man draft. I thought it was a 4-man draft. I think DeAndre Hunter is going to be a really good pro.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good pro, and he could be in Charlotte.
What's the average NBA player? 10 point something million?
Something like
right
that.
now. It's
Well,
I remember-
they just get the league minimum.
I just remember a long time ago, back in the '90s, when Glenn Robinson got drafted by the Bucks and wanted some $100 million contract. The owner said, "Well, I'll just take that contract and give you the team," because I mean, it had gotten that bad. I mean, but that's just telling you that was back in the mid '90s. I mean, this has been going on for decades. I mean, I don't see how they, Terry, with you, I don't know how they pay these
It's,
guys.
how you do
Listen,
it.
it's fine. I think they need to get rid of the max deals, because then you could sign whoever for whatever and pay them what they're worth. LeBron might get $70 million a year to play basketball.
It's crazy.
But I don't think that Brevin Knight deserves $15 million a year.
No.
Or
No.
J.R. Smith
Oh,
deserves
I was
15,
about
and
to
Jordan
say, you
Clarkson
should-
and Larry Nance Jr. and
Now
John
let's-
Henson
here,
$10 million
I
a
got
year.
one to tell you.
Deladova $10
I
million.
got one to tell you.
And the
right
whole
now.
Hornets
You don't,
roster.
I bet you don't think
advertisers
Terry
must be
Rozier
paying.
deserves that $50 million he's getting
Oh
in
my
Charlotte
God.
right now, do you?
Well,
He's getting $19
I guess we
million
got
a
to talk about
year.
that trade, don't we? The Kemba Walker for Terry
$19
Rozier
million a
trade.
year. I tweeted it because I agree with how Kevin states it. If he is not averaging 19 points a game for the next 3 years, it's a blown deal. It is another bad
Terry
deal.
Rozier is not a bad player.
No, I'm not saying
I'm
he's
gonna
a
put
bad
to you
player.
like this: if he becomes Charlotte's Hornets starting point guard,
Which he most likely
and
will.
he probably will.
They don't have another point guard on the
I
roster.
know.
Devontae
That's what I'm
Graham.
saying. But here's your
That's
deal
it.
with this: Terry Rozier will average 18 or 19 points a game.
Well, then,
he might have to.
if that's the case,
The
then
Hornets might
the
average
contract's
65.
I mean,
adjustable.
he will.
If that's the case, the contract's adjustable. If he's as good as he talks like he's the.
I ain't seen him
the
play
best
that
Good
What do you
player.
think,
defensive
Tom?
player. He's a good defensive guy,
Rozier.
and he's how would you put it? Spit or sputter on his drives. I mean, he can stop on a dime and take a shot.
Oh, and
He can
he's
shoot the
crafty.
three.
He's
You know,
pretty
I mean,
crafty,
yeah.
and he likes to play hard defense. I think someone that the Hornets really need to look into as well, since we carry the Hornets, we'll talk about him for a second, is
Yes.
Dwayne Bacon. He got like 23 last night in their summer league game. I know it's summer league, but he's been one of those guys that fluctuates back and forth between the G League, and we're at the point where it's like, hey, with the Hornets, next year you have nothing to play for. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. You have nothing to play for other than a draft spot. So why don't you put your young guns out there? Because Terry Rozier can still be considered a young gun. He's only been in the league, I think, 3-4 years. So put your young guns out there and just let them play.
I just can't believe that all these Hornets people here at the table, nobody's talked about Kennedy Meeks being signed
And
by
Isaiah
the Hornets.
Hicks.
And,
And
perhaps,
Isaiah Hicks.
and perhaps, what a great story
To
that would
do
be.
what?
West Charlotte High School to the
Wait,
Charlotte Hornets.
to do what?
Do you know how many
What?
times
Kennedy
the
Meeks gonna
Hornets...
play
Is
center,
he-
man. That's
the
what they
P-
said.
He's in the PR department.
No,
they have undrafted free agents.
No,
they
he
got
is.
both
He
of
is
them.
on there.
They got Kennedy Meeks
Yeah.
and Isaiah Hicks.
Mhm. So I
Why-
just can't
why?
believe I can't
Someone
believe-
tell me why.
As a Chapel Hill guy, I can't believe you.
Well,
didn't bring that
out of
up.
those
Kennedy
two,
Meeks is Sean May Jr.
I was just about
and
to say
and
that.
nobody was better at getting their own rebound than Sean May. Half his rebounds were his own misses. I couldn't stand watching him play.
But you know who was just
And
raw
Rashad
talent, though?
McCants carried that dang team. That's who was raw talent.
No, but
Rashad
you know who
McCants.
raw talent-wise, though, between those two is? If you could get Isaiah Hicks to produce, he has the record in North Carolina for rebounds in a game. I think he had 40 for high school.
He'd make a good Bismack Biyombo, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
we don't need to pay him $17 million a year.
you won't. You could ship Bismack Biyombo out of town and call Isaiah Hicks up on a rookie contract.
All right, so real quick on the Hornets, rosters before I get to Terry's Celtics. So, looking at the contracts, what Hunter's talking about is they're going to be bad for the next 2 years, which they are.
Yeah.
If they don't sign or get anybody, which they never have before, so I don't know why they would start now. The contracts, all the bad ones will be over in 2 years, period. They will have enough in 2 years, Hunter, to sign 3 max contracts if they wanted.
But here's
or if they
the thing,
could.
though.
But they're going to be the Knicks, and nobody's going to want to sign with us.
Charlotte
might get one.
Charlotte would
overpaid
have
guy.
to do this. They would have to change their culture in this way. They would
got to draft good the next 2
They'd have to draft good, but they actually have to get aggressive in free agency. They're not aggressive in free agency. They don't go after anybody. They're scared.
They've
that
never signed free agents.
They are scared that the fact they're the Charlotte Hornets, no one's going to come. Well, maybe if you offer them the right contract, they just might, and not these Nick Batum type contracts.
That's the right contract for them to go.
No,
that's how you get people in Charlotte. Well, see, here's the plan. The next 2 years, they have to tank.
No,
Have
they
to get
have
the
to
2
tank.
best picks they get. They have to hit those 2 picks, and then they have
Not a
to
power
then they
forward.
have to be attractive, like Brandon Ingram and them, and then where a free agent would want to come play. And want to come and take the money. That's their only
if I was
chance.
Brandon
Do
Ingram,
you
I'd
not
come
think
home.
you have to be like the Knicks? And a lot of people say, well, they lost out because they didn't offer Kevin Durant the max contract. But do you not think you have to be like that if you're the GM and the owner? Because they said, look, we've done this before and we've been burnt. I mean, guys, they can't daggum just say, okay, I'm going to get you. I'm going to give you everything that you want. This has become your town. And all of a sudden you get injured and
Well, if it comes to the point where they have spots for max deals, and look, I don't care.
I'd say this on the Knicks, Terry. The fact they haven't won in 40-something years, and then the fact of if it was Kawhi, I agree with you. If it was Paul George, I agree with you. Or anybody else. But Kevin Durant might be a top 5 player of all time if he continues. If he wins 3 more championships or something, I think you'd have to take the risk on it. Because, one, it's not like Dolan's young. Like, why would you, at some point with all these billions of dollars, you got to take a good risk? Because that would make the fans happy instead of saying. But I understand them being scared about it. But they made all these moves to do it, and then we've seen that they backed out of Kawhi and Durant in this free agency process. So I don't know what they're doing. And speaking of them, and I laughed my butt off last night when I saw this. The headline, I don't know if it's probably not here anywhere. The Vegas Summer League, the favorite to bet. Did you see the betting favorite in the Summer League was? Now, if you're the betting favorite in the Summer League, that isn't good, Tom, because that means all your starters are playing in the Summer League.
I just didn't know
It's
you
not
could
the
bet
Hunt.
on-
Betting favorites probably.
What's
the
next?
Knicks.
Are you going to
Tom,
bet
it's
on
in
Shelby
Vegas.
Lawn and Garden? And
It's in Vegas.
Vegas.
You don't think they can bet on that?
Oh,
It's in
no, yeah, they
Vegas.
Who
place
would
in
bet
Vegas.
on that? Who would?
If you're a betting man,
Ton
you'll
of
just
people.
do whatever.
Ton of people.
I'd bet
I'm
on
not
it.
betting on
You're
it.
totally
Son.
asking the wrong questions,
I'm
Tom.
not
I'd have bet on it.
something.
Who would bet?
Just try and hit
I was
the
reading a
over every
tweet
time.
yesterday that said that during the first earthquake during the earthquake in Vegas, they were behind someone. Not last night, the other night, and they felt the earthquake. And the guy said, the guy in front of me said, "Give me the Reds." It was -2 or whatever, 2-run, whatever. And the worker said, "Hold on, we're having an earthquake." He goes, "Well, hurry up and cash the ticket before it gets canceled and changes." And the guy's like, "I've heard everything now."
Yeah.
The guy in front of me wanted his ticket before the earthquake
Yeah.
brought the house down.
Oh man!
So Tom, everything is
I tell you
bet on.
something. You would be
Everything's bet on.
surprised how many degenerate gamblers there are that are just
Have
like,
you not-
"Hey man, there's
have you not
something
seen
to
the
bet on tonight."
exposés in Florida where they have gambling rings on the Pop Warner games?
No.
Yes. The Bob Lay on ESPN did a thing on that. So they had gambling in Florida. The coaches were setting the lines, and then they would gamble in the stands during the Pop Warner games.
Setting the lines, my God.
I tell you, Tom, if there's any type of competition, someone somewhere is betting
Gonna
on
bet
it.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry, you know this though. The Martin twins, Cody and Caleb, that are playing.
Uh-huh.
Are they identical twins? They play for state,
I think they are.
I don't think they're identical.
but
It's
they're but
They
wouldn't
look
wouldn't that be?
I know
hey,
they're close, but I
wouldn't
don't
that
think
be
they're
cool?
identical. I think
What-
one was born one day and another day or something.
I didn't like that pick either.
But if you don't look, look, if you're not going to win a lot of games, you got the Twins that came out of state, and you got Meeks that came out of Carolina. I mean, hey,
Wait,
at
they
least
got
have
both
some
of them on the team?
Yes.
Meeks is not making the roster.
They got both of those Martin twins. What are they trying to be, the Morris twins?
But what I'm just telling you, wouldn't that be great? I mean, everybody would come with their Carolina and state jerseys on and all this stuff. At least have some. Hey, if you're not going to win, at least have some like hometown guys that people can go out and cheer
Looks
for.
like it's what you're
I
trying
mean,
to do.
It's one of them things that it's
like,
good.
like Kevin
They
says,
call
it's about
Gabe.
selling hot dogs, right, Kevin?
Call Gabe DeVoe.
And it's one of the good
Oh,
things
yeah,
with
that's what you
y'all
can do.
going to the ball games and everything, and y'all get to do interviews. So now tell us what really happened at North Carolina State.
How much money was Dennis Smith really paid?
More than likely, I might not go to a single Hornets game next year.
You will.
We will because we
don't
like
even
interviewing the other players when they come in.
That's exactly right. I hate to say
That's
that.
what we will.
I hate to say that.
Hornets
but
locker room is
let's
nice.
not-
The other one is just
the
plain
other
as
one,
can be.
The other one
It's
isn't, and
nothing.
I've seen that one more than the Hornets.
Haven't the Hornets blocked you on social media, Kevin?
No, Kemba Walker did.
I don't know why.
I never said anything mean to him. I've never said anything mean to Kemba. I just
Let it be known.
yeah.
I
block me on
interviewed.
Twitter.
Let it be known. I interviewed the Finals MVP.
And you got fussed at by for interviewing Kemba too. So it might be Hunter's fault that I got.
I
blocked.
did
I don't
get
know.
fussed at for interviewing
Might have thought it was
Kimba.
me. Maybe they thought that was me
I don't
and blocked me
understand.
instead of you.
Like we had just finished a
Ain't
little
that what
group,
it was, Terry?
the group of it, and I stayed after for like
he got
kind of
fussed
like
at, and I
to
got a
tell
mean
him
email,
something.
and now I'm blocking.
And then I
Kemba.
walked off.
Like
what the hell?
I bet it was me.
What?
They just got our names mixed up. My name was on the thing, KTC, and Kimba's people
He's
blocked
mad
me
at
for,
you.
Why would
It's your
no?
fault.
Why would he get in trouble for interviewing?
So the rules are you got to interview them in a group setting, no one-on-ones, unless you
okay.
set it up.
Okay.
So, but like you're in the locker room, and like there's no like, boom, boom, boom. Hey guys, I'm ready for interviews, and everybody comes over. The guy like you just wait, and then most of them send in their towels and don't get changed because they don't want to talk to you, and then they're like time
And
for
ha-
bus, and then and
half the time you're fighting everybody to try and talk to Kimba. So we were finished with what we had asked him. I had asked him a question in the group setting, and we were starting to disperse. And it was kind of like a question, but like a story. I told him. I just told him how me and my friend group had like whenever we crossed somebody up and to hit a step back on them, we called it the Kimba Walker because of what you did in the Big East tournament. I wanted to just let you. Is that how you think you got recognized? It's like a question but a story at the same time. So, first of all, Hornets, I'm never coming back. Second of all,
yeah, he is.
don't worry, I'm coming back, but you don't have to worry about me talking to your players. No.
I don't, man.
But yes, let it be
I got to
known.
make better decisions on that.
You know, I thought about it. I asked Kawhi, because I still have the interview.
You did talk to Kawhi.
I asked Kawhi. I was like, because
talking
it was
to Danny
close.
Green. Hey, I was talking to two-time champion Danny Green. He got the
you
same
were.
number of rings.
That's okay.
that
Two times.
Kawhi
I was just talking, finals MVP and the man that held free agency in the palm of his hand. Anyways, but I didn't realize it until now. But I literally asked him. I was like, I just asked him, so you guys basically ready for the playoffs? Like, are you guys focused on the playoffs? When I asked help, bro. I got him in the zone, man.
That
It
was
was
it, Terry, wasn't
me. It was all me. Just like it was me who got Tobias Harris traded. I was the last one I was the last one to talk to him when he was a part of the Clippers at the Hornets. And guess what? He was traded the next day. You can thank me, 76ers.
See, Hunter is the one causing the problems here. I tried to tell you. No, the only thing I've ever said about Kim is I think he's an outstanding player. He's all right. People, kids today or the younger generation think, he's meant the most to the franchise and he means this most. But and you've been sitting here for, I guess, maybe his whole career with me, and I've been saying the same thing for 7 years. You can't win with the shoot first point guard being your team leader, and it's never going to happen. And now he's gone. I like him. He's good, but you had to have other pieces. And the most excited I've been in 7 years was last year when they added Dwight Howard, because that meant to me they needed one more piece, a Paul George. Anyone on the wing, anyone, just close your eyes. Anyone that can score 20 points on the wing, and then you got three counter pieces. Kimba and a Dwight Howard pick and roll is nasty. Now, if you got shooters around it, it's really good. But nope, they didn't commit to it at all. Got rid of everybody.
Not only did the Hornets
and Dwight, by the way,
Kimba,
folks, he set the team record in field goal percentage and averaged 17 and 13. So he played well.
I mean, not only did you lose Kimba, I mean, you lost the shooter and Jeremy Lamb. There is not a person on
national
this
championship
team.
combo, right?
Yeah, there is not a player on this team. Seriously, maybe Scary Terry, but we'll see. But there's not a player on this team that can
Who's getting 20?
can put. I was going to say can't get 20, and there's not a person on this team that can put the ball on the floor and make his own shot. He can't. There's no shot creation on this team. It's going to be the most boring style of basketball you'll ever see.
I tell you who the biggest fans of the Hornets are going to be: the opposing assistant coaches.
Yeah,
they'll have to do no work.
No.
Y'all, what do y'all want to play tonight? 2-3.
All right.
We'll play a box and we'll pick one. Just pick one.
Oh my gosh!
We're gonna try all of our zones against the Hornets, guys.
Coach, we're at the
because
Hornets.
they're not gonna beat us. Let's try our 2-3 or 1-3-1 or 4-3. We're gonna press. They're gonna try everything.
Coach, we're at the Hornets. Who do we need to focus on tonight?
Well,
Dude, I don't care.
Just promise we'll get to go to one game in a pink Cadillac this year. Kevin.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
We're
I tell you what. The good thing about the Hornets is they do have the prettiest colors in.
Well,
in,
I
in
want to
the
ask you
NBA.
something. Why
So
would the
congratulations, Charlotte.
Hornets get rid of Kemba? I understand that deal. I mean, they just didn't want him, couldn't afford him, etc. I mean, I'm with all that, Michael, if that's what you want to do. But then you turn around and Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time with that one. I'm like, why
you
get
could have
rid of
re-signed
him?
Lamb.
I mean, to me, when you coming down the stretch, it was Kemba or Lamb.
Lamb hit
Those
some pretty
were
good
the
a bunch
next
of
guy
game
in
winners
line.
while we were in
Lamb
the
hit the
building.
one against the Raptors.
You know, I mean, and I did not understand it. I mean, you totally just blew your whole team all to pieces.
Well, got a tank, Terry.
I think that's the point.
Who's the best player coming out next year?
I have no idea.
Do y'all know? Have
I
y'all
don't
looked
know.
at
It's
the
going to
mock
be one of
draft
these
for next
Duke
year?
boys, probably.
I mean, it's going to be Cavs and Hornets, and
Yeah.
we'll
Maybe.
get the Cavs will get the first pick for the 19th time, unlike the Hornets ever.
Oh, don't get me started on the
Have we had
NBA
one? We had
draft.
one, wasn't it? Wasn't
Do
Larry
not
Johnson
get me.
first?
Yeah. Don't
Or
get me
Lon-
started.
Larry was first.
Do not get me started with the dang NBA
We never did
draft.
look at Boston. I'm going to tell you, when you do look at Boston,
got a minute, go
Boston's
ahead.
not bad.
Somebody called in on
I'm
a
telling
radio show I was listening to when I was in Florida, and they said they were trying to make the statement that the NBA
y'all make
draft is,
playoffs.
they were making a statement the NBA draft is rigged, and the guy was like, "Oh, there's no way." And I'm sitting there thinking, "Dude, you know what? After what he listed, I was like, yeah, I think the NBA draft is rigged. I do think it's 100% rigged."
We pick up Enos Kanter. That's a plus. To play the middle, we lost Horford. Now he can't shoot the three like Horford,
Now,
but he
Enos
can
is
protect the
replacing
rim.
Yeah, y'all got three. Y'all, look, y'all don't got to worry about
Where did Horford end up?
76ers.
Philadelphia.
That was the stupidest deal Philadelphia could have ever made. That's the
Well,
stupidest deal
Well, to
Philadelphia
me,
could have made.
you replaced Butler with Horford. To me, that made Philadelphia worse.
I think
I'm
it made them
sorry.
better defensively. I think it made it worse offensively.
yeah,
you know why?
there you
Guess
go.
what? Ben Simmons can't shoot. Al Horford can kind of shoot, but he's going to want to play down low. Joel Embiid plays down low.
That's what I'm saying. I think that
Tobias
hurt
Harris is the only shooter you got.
So
And they lost JJ.
And Tobias Harris, they lost JJ, and Tobias
Pelicans-
Harris can go to the rack.
Here's how you know the Pelicans aren't going to make the playoffs next year, Tom. They got 5 Duke players that could be on the court at one time.
But you look at Boston.
Sorry, Terry.
They're
You
not going to be bad.
You can't rely on Duke players.
No, look, I'll
not
say
gonna
this,
be bad.
Terry.
Y'all make the playoffs. Y'all be getting the second round.
Y'all don't have to
Well,
worry.
who else is in the East? Y'all make the second round.
You don't have to worry about. I know you just said like we
Might
lost out.
make the
Enes
conference finals
Kanter can't
depending
shoot
on
threes.
who
Y'all
gets
ain't got to
hurt.
worry about shooting threes. Y'all got 3-point shooters all over the place.
Yeah,
Marcus Smart,
that's what
Gordon,
I'm saying.
Hayward, Jason
We're
Tatum.
probably, and this is me saying right now, Boston's probably the third best team in the East right now.
I gotta ask you a question, Terry. Serious. I saw someone put. You know how we got 2 stars in multiple places. I saw someone say that Boston has a two-star system with Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum. I get Kemba Walker.
No,
I
Tatum's still
don't
gotta prove
think you call Jason
All right,
Tatum a star.
Teams on the move. Real quick, we got to go to break though.
Yeah.
But Hunter's Wizards have traded Dwight to Memphis.
We have
Iguodala's been
decided to
traded to
tank.
Memphis. Memphis says they're going to trade Iguodala and buy Dwight Howard out. Expect Howard. I've been saying for a couple years, Terry. He gets up on Golden State. They got a live body in there instead of all these dead bodies like Bogut.
Yeah, but they
running around in
just
there.
signed
never
Willie.
gonna
They
touch the
just
ball.
was it
You
a
don't
sign?
have to.
Was
Rebound.
it a sign?
He's got to get a rebound and dunk it. That is all Dwight Howard has to do
I
for
don't
Golden
think
State.
I don't think they'll make that move because they just got Willie Cauley-Stein. That's like a skinnier Dwight Howard.
It could happen. L.A. maybe back to the Lakers. So looking in the
Clippers.
East real quick though, team to look out for. Indiana. Oladipo missed a lot of time this year. At the end of the year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were a 5 seed last year. Watch out for them. They just
They
didn't
lost
they get
Thaddeus
Brogdon?
Young.
Didn't they get Brogdon?
They
or
did
something?
get Malcolm Brogdon. They lost Thaddeus Young to the Bulls. They still have what's that big center for them? Played at Texas. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he's Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Miles Turner. He's very talented. So yeah, Indiana with how everything has shaken up with Kawhi not being with the Raptors.
Miami will make the playoffs next year of Butler, right?
They should.
Yes.
So they put them in. They lost.
And Dragic.
So teams out of the playoffs. Hornets ain't making the playoffs. Wizards ain't making the playoffs.
Hawks aren't.
Hawks might. They got some good young talent. They can make a
they
run.
Have good young talent, but I think
no Cavs.
Go ahead and say Cleveland ain't making a playoffs.
No Knicks. Like, so there's only maybe the Heat and Hawks.
Okay, so if we're putting the Heat in and maybe the Hawks, who out of the 1 through 8's falling out? Maybe Detroit.
Maybe Toronto, depending on where Gasol and everybody goes. If it's mass exodus, it could be Toronto.
I still
it could
say
be Kyle
Toronto
Lowry.
falls from a number 2 down to
Oh, well,
about
they're
a number
falling out of the
6
2, but I
or
think they
7.
could still be good enough to make
6
a
or 7.
playoffs.
Siakam's going to have to step up for them to make to
say he's
stay in the
getting better and
playoffs.
better
So-
every
It's too
day.
bad because that town goes nuts for that team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, I was just hoping they would keep.
Well, they
that.
don't. They go nuts for it, but they can't say they haven't won a championship now.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, across the board before we go, give me your favorite in the East next year. Who's going to the finals right now today?
Let me ask you something. Did Middleton leave?
No,
Milwaukee?
he re-signed.
Okay, then
Big
Milwaukee.
contract. I was about to say
Milwaukee.
it's
the Bucks.
It's Milwaukee or the 76ers. Milwaukee. Or the
None of you
76ers.
say the Hornets. It's kind of weird.
I didn't think they were making the playoffs.
No Brooklyn.
Dang, just think the Brooklyn Nets with what they had.
Dang,
last
I
year
nailed the
was
Raptors
6
last
seed.
year, but by God, I don't know right now.
Milwaukee will probably. They won 60 this past year.
I hope Ben Simmons loses every year before he.
It
I hope he
seems
never
like-
makes the finals in his life.
I hope he does.
5 or 6 in both conferences that this could be interesting, and the rest you don't even have to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the
You're-
thing. Here's the thing, though. There's like 2 or 3 interesting in the East, but I don't think any of them are beating a Western Conference.
Favorites are Bucks and Sixers. Watch out for Boston and Indiana to make the conference finals if one of those two falter.
Mm-hmm.
Out west, favorite out west guys across the board.
I'm Clippers.
I'm Portland.
After what they did in their head coach,
I'm
taking
Denver.
Clippers. Taking Denver.
We got 3 out of 3.
I say you still got it. You still got to take it away from Golden State.
So you're still.
I
Going
didn't know
Golden
they
State.
traded Iguodala.
Yeah.
They traded. I didn't even
They
realize.
got D'Angelo Russell now.
Yeah, they did get D'Angelo.
Ain't that your boy? Ain't he from Ohio State?
Yeah.
Is that one of your boys?
Yeah, but I think
they gave away some draft picks too.
Here's
so
what
they're trying to hold on now.
A lot of people are
actually said they might trade
Yeah, I
D'Angelo.
was gonna say, I hear a lot of people saying he's going to be there till trade deadline. Then that's when Klay Thompson's going to be coming back, and then he's probably gone for I don't know what.
So he's staying there to keep him alive until Thompson comes
until
back.
Clay comes back. If Clay comes back,
is
old
what you're
Clay
looking
off
at.
ACL tear. So I don't know.
All right, folks, that's our NBA talk. JP, we're finally there's a lot of stuff to go through in that. We squeezed
That
in
was a lot.
We squeezed in so much, but that was a big segment, folks. We're going to come back, and we've got American Legion Baseball, Major League Baseball, NASCAR, a little NFL, American Legion Softball, and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
The Red, White, and Blue sale continues this week at Country Camping Corner in Kings Mountain. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings. Now, we had such a good time on Monday, we're going to do it again this Saturday, July 6th at Country Camping Corner in Kings Mountain. We'll be broadcasting live from 10 till 2. Come join us for free Subway sandwiches from Subway in Bossier City, chips and soft drinks, and register to win some great prizes, including tickets to the American Legion Baseball World Series. Also, free golf passes, Gastonia Grizzly and Hickory Crawdad tickets, and much more. And there's plenty of summer left. Country Camping Corner is having one heck of a summer sale down during the Red, White, and Blue sale. Savings of thousands of dollars and more. There's one for every family, one for every budget. See the selection and come join us this Saturday, July 6th, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. during the Red, White, and Blue sale at Country Camping Corner, 101 Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass intersection in Kings Mountain. Online at countrycamping.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the top 30 hits in the USA with my co-host for the second week, Garth Brooks, who tells me how he'll celebrate Dive Bar Day.
On Dive Bar Day, we're actually going to be filming the actual video for Dive Bar. Probably, if I know Blake, it'll be a bar he owns.
That's Garth Brooks this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, WCSL. 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
With a roster full of young superstars, the sky's the limit for the 2019 Atlanta Braves, and we'll bring you every huge moment.
Fly ball to deep left center field. At the track, looking up, it's out of here.
Atlanta Braves baseball back again on the Boston Carolina Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville, Gastonia.
Check out the great rates at Pine Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride weekdays for only $21. Seniors play and ride weekends for just $18. Or you can play and ride all day weekdays for only $28. Seniors can play and ride all day on weekends for $25. Make your tee time today by calling 828-433-4950. You'll love this challenging 18-hole par 68 course. The Pine Mountain Golf Course, adjacent to South Mountain State Park. Again, call 828-433-4950 for your tee time.
Coming soon to the great outdoors in Cherryville. It's the Camus Bass Boat by Earl Bentz. If you want a sneak peek, come see pro bass fisherman Guy Akers on Camus Bass Boat. It's on display at the great outdoors in Cherryville. And you could have one just like it. See the lineup of Sea Arc boats too, plus a complete store full of hunting and fishing equipment and supplies. And coming soon, the new Camus Bass Boat. Coming soon to the great outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right behind McDonald's.
In 2019, our Atlanta Braves are looking to defend their National League East title, and we'll bring you every play from this epic season.
High fly to right field. That one's got a chance. That one is gone. It's a chop shot.
Atlanta Braves baseball back again on the Boston Carolina Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville, Gastonia. Hear that? That's a bunch of bull some unfortunate customer is receiving from another car dealership. It's something you don't get at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Come see the No Bull Man, Dwight Fowler. Dwight and his sales associates will put you in the vehicle of your choice with no bull. Just plain down home good deals. No bull at Renato Auto Mall, home of Renato Honda, Renato Kia, and Renato Buick GMC. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Up front, 3 wide. What a move for Chase Elliott.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
It is now 4 wide.
Heads back to Talladega.
Chase Elliott goes 3 wide on Eric Almirola and Kyle Busch.
For success requires racing close.
Johnson's on the move.
But not too close.
And now gets turned by William Byron.
The Geico 500.
Nearly a dozen cars involved.
Sunday at 1 on the Motor Racing Network.
It's the Geico 500 this Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Now's the time to buy your new Kubota from Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Right now, pay zero money down. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months. Come on in now for all the details. All for good on the Kubota BX Series, the Kubota B Series, the Kubota L Series, and the Kubota MX Series tractors. Again, 0 money down and 0% APR financing for 60 months. Get your new Kubota today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain.
Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville is there for you in your time of need. They're a progressive and comprehensive funeral service provider, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Funeral directors John Porter, Scott, and Hannah Garrett are there to help you and give you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. For more information, call 704-435-6711. Located at 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville and online at carpentersfuneralhome.net, a member of the National Funeral Directors Association.
At Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation in Cherryville, it's their passion that makes them different. Their goal is to return their rehabilitation residents home as soon as possible. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation offers 24-hour nursing care, foods prepared on site, private and semi-private accommodation, television and telephone, and even wireless internet. From short-term to long-term care, your care and safety is their top priority. For more information, call and speak with a representative at 704-435-4161 or visit the website at sandstonehealth.com. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation, where their passion makes them different.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're yelling at me for no apparent reason, so I must be doing something right.
Trying to get you to get crunk in there, Lil P, Lil JP. Little Pennsylvania P in there. What's going on? Lay down some rhymes for us. Lay down some marvelous rhymes for us. Captain Marvel. How about that?
Yo, hey, hey, you're the one who told me to put some rhymes for you. I got one rap. That's about all I have.
Welcome everybody back. Do you know the words to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
By heart.
Well, then you do a rap. So there you go, JP. So there
I know two. I actually made one too.
You don't want to start.
Oh, okay. There you go.
No. Oh, well, we're gonna that's gonna be recorded in the opening theme song next week.
Yeah.
When we come back.
There we go.
All right.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, that'll be next week. Yeah.
American Legion baseball news and softball news. Let's start with the softball, folks. WHS 1390 AM 101.5 FM is going to start picking up some softball games here in the next few weeks. Shelby Post 82, and then we'll may have the American Legion World Series is going to be here in Shelby. We may have the championship game of that, depending on the dates and everything. Once we check into that, because it's supposed to be the same week of the baseball World Series, so we've got to check on that for you folks. But we may have that starting. That's not the new one. That's not the old one. JP's got the new one. That one's June. No more June, Terry. That did say Shelby Post 82 on it. Oh, that was baseball. Okay, gotcha. Anyway, I do know the dates here, so it don't matter. July 11th and 9th, we'll have softball on WHS. And then also the 25th. I'm going to tell you who they're playing. One of them, South Gaston. That'll be at Forest View. And then they play Rutherford County. That will be at Chase. And then the 25th, Terry or Tom, do either one of you know where Caldwell plays their softball Legion games at?
No.
That's who they play on the 25th. So, folks, we'll get you the location on that. So, the 9th, they play South Gaston at Forest View. The 11th, Rutherford at Chase. And, Tom, you might want to find out where that Caldwell game is, because you might be going to that one. So, July 25th at Caldwell County.
All right. Sounds great.
Welcome to Tom on Legion softball broadcast. Hunter, might be talking to you about two of those, one of those other dates here in a minute, too. Terry, you want to do some softball? You can, too. I'll invite y'all to help out, because they're going to be – we're doing away games the way the way the schedule worked out with our Braves schedule and our other Legion schedules. We're going to be doing mostly away games during the regular season, and then we'll pick up the state tournament and other things from there. So we'll get you the news and notes on that. Go to kdcbroadcasting.com, folks. Our daily schedule and our schedule for the next week is always on there. If you'll scroll down right before the top of the page, there's a Google Calendar there. It tells our music schedule. It tells our sports schedules for the days. At the very top of the page, we put the links to the show. So if there is a Legion game or any of our other games, it'll be in the top little slideshow there that goes through and says whatever games are on. If we have all those, we'll have the links for that. All right, Legion standings and updates. I'm gonna try to break these down so Hunter can do some reading too. So it's just not me all sitting there reading this. All right, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, let's start with your series.
Okay.
You had Burke County and Lincoln County. The series is now tied 2-2.
Yeah.
And once you get this deep in the series, it may be a pitching issue.
Yes.
And Burke and East or Lincoln will be playing tonight on WLON with Ken Link and Jason Saint. Tell us a little bit about last night's game.
Last night's game was a complete opposite from what happened in Game 3. Game 3, we went up to Burke County, and Burke County came out on top in that game, really unscathed, 8-0. And then last night, this is what we said after the game. Let me get to that first. What we said after the game in Burke County for Game 3 was, of course, it was a winner-go-home game, really, or not winner-go-home. It was a must-win for both teams because, decisive Game 4 was coming up. And after the game was over, me and Kent were talking in the post-game show and said, what really hurts for Lincoln County is how inconsistent they've been on the defensive side of the ball and their batting. The defensive side of the ball that night, they had 2 errors. One of them should have been an easy routine ground ball at the second baseman, and he just there's a hole in his glove. He just hits him, and he doesn't pull it up. So there were silly mistakes. They didn't get the fundamentals right, and they had only 4 hits that whole day. They only had 4 hits, 4 base hits. Where as of last night, they had 3 hits in 2 innings. So they did a complete 180. They played sound in the infield. There were I think there was only, if anything, there was 1 error, but they did something that they didn't do, which was hit. They hit the ball, and I said that while we were covering to Burke County. What we had come to the conclusion was, I don't think you're gonna quite beat them in the infield. So all you gotta do is just try and outscore them. You gotta try and outscore them somehow. And it's exactly what they did yesterday. And what I saw from Burke County was, I saw 5 pitching changes. I saw 3 of them in the same inning, and that was the bottom of the 4th when they put up 8 runs. Lincoln County put up 8 runs. That was a long inning in general. The rest of the game went so fast compared to that inning. That inning alone was almost 30 minutes. 3 pitching changes. One guy only pitched to 2 players, and then I think it was pitch count. He had pitched a few nights before, had a few more numbers that he could go, hit the number, and then they pulled him again. So, like you said, pitching is going to come into play tonight. Based on what I had seen and what we had talked about with some of the gentlemen up in the press box at Lincoln County as well is in a little bit of a pitching situation as well with the pitch count rule as well. They're getting deeper and deeper with who can pitch, maybe infield players that really haven't pitched in maybe years. They don't really pitch when they're in high school or travel ball. So I told Ken, I said, Ken, I think you're going to have an ugly game tonight. This is not a shot towards either team. It's just, if you're getting low on pitching, you might have some ugly throws. You might have a couple walks here and there, a little bit of freebies. I don't think it'll be as high scoring as it has been. I know Ken told me in game 1, score was like 9-8. That was the closest game that they've had. It's either been a blowout or it was a 1-point game.
Let me ask the umpires at this table.
Well, what I saw at Burke County, I was just going to add real quick, it seemed like they were better than they have been in years past. And it seemed like when I saw them against Henderson County, they had a couple guys that were good pitchers. I think they had one guy come home from college that was pitching for them, and they did. They
got a shortstop who's smooth and he can pitch.
And they hit a couple out too against
7-7.
He did last night too. There was one that did last night.
It seemed like they're a much improved team. So I was curious to see how far they might get. I hadn't seen Lincoln County, but
do you guys think the pitching rules highly affect the quality of baseball play? Because you have to take the better pitchers you have to take out more often, and now you get to situations where you're at a 5 guy.
The problem with it is, it's like you're treating everybody the same now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you really can't do that because like on a football team, you got one guy that can bench press 225 15 times, and a guy that can only bench press 180 pounds.
Right.
There's different physical capabilities.
You got starters and closers.
The problem is you got some dumb coaches out there that do dumb things. So now everybody's being punished. You see what I mean? And that's what I don't like. So what I don't understand is punish the coach. Don't punish all the other coaches that do their job and know their players. That's what irritates me.
But what's your limitation?
When I went to Bessemer, Terry, here's the thing about this. Well, I think one thing Tom's getting to is, let's say at Bessemer we had Mason. He ran every day. He threw every day. He was preparing to play college baseball, be a pitcher.
And he could probably throw 130 pitches, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I could throw 60 and my arm would almost fall off.
Right.
But we could throw the same number of pitches. Like I could, you could bring. I was probably about the 5th pitcher. I threw in practice some. I never touched the mound the whole season. I didn't have to. If we did, we were in big trouble. But I would have if we had pitch hitting rules.
Oh, yeah.
And that wouldn't have been good. I saw Bessemer lose a game last year because of pitch hitting rules. They had to take the starting pitcher out. The other team hadn't got to run the whole game, take him out in the 7th inning with 1 out. The guy
Well,
comes in and gives
that's
up
almost
bang,
kind
bang,
of how
they
it
lose.
was last night for Burke County. Unfortunately, the starting pitcher that they had started to get shelled. So what did they do? They went to somebody they thought still had some room to try and get him out of the inning. They didn't have his, because they even went out there. The opposing manager went out there with the umps and said, "Look, I don't think he can even pitch tonight. I don't even think this guy can pitch." And he had just a few more pitches he could throw. And then they had to make another pitching change, and he got shelled.
I mean, do you think we should be so concerned about the numbers of pitches, Terry? Because now you got a guy counting pitches in each dugout, and then isn't there enough to worry about already? And like I said, the coach should know better that hey, Mason go 100 pitches and Kevin can't.
Let me put it to you in my terms. I'm like Tom on a lot of things. Don't go change your pitcher. Let's keep the game going. But on the second end of it
makes the games longer, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I saw 3 pitching changes in one inning.
Well, on the other end of it, I do want to protect the player.
Well, here's
the
thing.
And I understand what Tom's saying. There are some guys who can go out there and throw like Mason 130 or more pitches and never be hurt by it. But when you have people out there and all of a sudden the coach says, "Okay, we're going 160, 170," I mean, you're putting that guy in jeopardy.
What if they had a rule, Terry, where you had to ask the pitcher, as far as like
I'm never going to tell you no, I need to come out.
No, not that. Is your arm sore at all? If there's any soreness, not hey, it's a little sore, I think I can still go. If they say there's any, and you can, if your arm's hurting, you can grab a pitcher around the elbow, and they'll react if it's sore or something.
Yeah.
And if there's any reacted, I know it's a self-replicating rule. Maybe even the umpire say, "Hey, how you doing, pitch? You okay?" I don't know, how to enforce it. But like,
what
if
is
a kid
the pitch
says
count?
What else? What else I think is a problem is you got more kids playing year round too.
You do.
So they pitch in the spring, they pitch in the summer, they pitch
Well, let
in
me
the
tell you
fall.
something. That's the parents'
That's
fault.
wearing out some.
That's the parents' fault for letting their kids do that, because what they told us growing up is it is better for you to play a different sport in your off season than to play the same sport throughout.
You
can't just keep putting that kind of wear and tear on it. Now I know you can't tell them. That's like any player. They want to play their sport year round, but
It used to not be like that though. When I was in school, the 3 or 4 sport athlete was common.
Yeah.
I mean, very common.
They always win
really,
like best all around or most athletic.
When I was at Burns in the early 2000s, the baseball players, no, we're not going to go get hurt playing football.
Mason would have been an excellent quarterback.
What's that?
Chris Mason would have been an excellent quarterback.
Yeah.
He was tough. Might have been the toughest player that we had. Yeah. He was fearless, and my God, he could sling the ball.
Yeah.
And he was a smart, instinctful football. Athlete. He played basketball with us in pickups and stuff. He could have probably made the varsity. He wouldn't have started. He wasn't that good, but he could probably made it. But he didn't do any of that. He was just all bad. But that's different. But the kids that aren't, throwing 90, and I will say this: playing basketball, baseball, and football, every single one of those taught me how to. So I'm a shorter person, right? So you look on the football field, throwing passes, basketball and baseball, sidearm, either pitching or throwing from shortstop, teaches you to what? If I'm throwing, I'm not as tall as my lineman, I can sling a sidearm throw here and there. I don't know how many times I've thrown a sidearm football. They don't teach you to throw it that way. Tim Quattlebaum never taught me to throw a football sidearm. But at some times when he's teaching 6'3" and 4 quarterbacks. Kent Bowen went to Lenore Ryan. Ralph Roberts, he's pretty good. I'm out here doing this, throwing it sideways and stuff. So each one of those sports taught me different things. High school basketball taught, playing at a certain level and playing against certain people, the passes you have to make are so crisp that it's going to be a turnover that people just don't even realize that you have to be so crisp on those passes. And that teaches in each and every one of those sports. And like you guys are saying, you're not playing these other sports. The footwork in basketball and backpedaling at cornerback all day long, just backpedal. You don't think that helps you get back on D in basketball? I could run if I'm beat to a spot and I know how to backpedal. Like so many basketball players, Terry, they get their hips turned, they're done. But if you can backpedal and get back just as fast as they're going, you
don't
can stay
know
with
how
people.
many times I've seen in this series. I know I've only covered 2 of the games out of the series, but are they teaching kids in the outfield to play in the shallow outfield the whole time? I saw so many. They play so shallow. You know how many times I've seen a kid get burnt That when I played, you know, I mean, I had videos I watched growing up. You know, my dad put them in. They would teach you the fundamentals of the game. They always taught you in the outfield, don't be afraid to play deep because you can move faster forward than you can backwards.
But what I think what's happened is because they deaden these bats.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That
why
bat's
you're seeing that.
You would think it's easier though, on the one hop or maybe the second hop to just field it and come up with, okay, the dude's there for a single, than letting it fly over your head and you have to backtrack and run all the way and let it roll to the warning track. And the dude's got a double, maybe turning and running for a triple. You know, and they're catching with one hand to the side of their body in the outfield. I get it; it's kind of old school way, but dude, if that thing hits the tip, it's flying out. You have nothing behind it. I don't know. Do they just not teach the fundamental? I know I didn't go far in baseball. I got burnt out with baseball. I just did. I was decent at it, but I got burnt out at it. But I feel like I at least knew the fundamentals, at least at fielding and playing in the outfield. I don't come up like this and you put your body to the side.
I think the worst fundamental thing that's gotten so bad lately is the bunting. I've seen some awful bunting. All right, guys, we gotta get through these standings and matchups.
Just on this, what do we know? Since you are umpires, do you know what the pitch count is in Legion ball? Like, what can you get to before they're like, all right, that's
umpires
enough?
stay out of that.
Yeah,
you stay out of that. You don't know.
I want to say in high school it's 115 pitches.
It's not up to the umpires to
It's
keep
not
up
up to
with.
the.
Well, no, it's not up to them to keep. I know it's not up to you to keep up with. But I didn't know you knew the
I didn't
number.
really say that. They don't want us clicking stuff. I mean, that's
The only thing I
y'all.
was going to say, Kevin, when that little speech about how you made, well, if you play this sport, it teaches you this, which transfers to that. I don't think that's what coaches are telling them.
No.
I think what coaches are telling them is, no. You got to play this all year long.
Oh, well, that's what it is.
And I think, we want to blame the parent. You know, as a teacher, I think that we overblame parents. Some of the problem is what these kids are being told by their coaches.
You know what also you get?
Yeah.
You meet more friends. You get more because you get more teammates.
Diverse.
The same people. I had totally different friends and met different people on every one of those different one of those different teams. And because Tom, there's some people. Andre, he God bless him. He didn't even know that our school had a golf team until like 2 years ago when I told him I was on the golf team. I'm like, Andre, we had our bags in the classes. Like, how did you miss that? So like people on like the basketball team didn't know I played football, and some people on the baseball team didn't know I played basketball or baseball. Like none of them knew. Like I played the other sports, so there's like two people that played the other sports with me. I think, let's see, football, we had two guys that played basketball, and that was it. That played football with me. And then baseball, only one guy from the football team played on the baseball team. Jason was there too. So we had two guys on the football team.
It does get cliquish. Like us baseball players, we just play baseball, man. We stick together. The football players hang out over there. We're baseball players. Like, but I luckily for me, I mean, I played soccer. Obviously, like, it's not the biggest sport in school, but I mean, I was friends with everybody like throughout all the sports. But that's just coming up. I played with them in like other different things, you know. But that's what it is, you know. Just like with people in travel, I think what it is, the kids, they want to play that one sport because they see these professional athletes, and I think it's really more basketball players that say, man, all I do, I play high school ball, but then I'm straight to AAU. I play with my buddies. We go and we travel up and down, you know, South Carolina, all the East Coast. We play for I'm just throwing it out, Chris Paul's Nike All-American team.
Yeah, but
whatever.
look at a lot of the people that made it big. They've always played more than one sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him and it'll say, well, he was a heck of a basketball player. He was.
They said Patrick Mahomes was just as good of a baseball player as he is a football player.
Hey, Caron Butler, NBA player, to this day, says Tony Romo is better than him in basketball.
Oh, I bet I can imagine he'd be great at
He was
Tony Romo's just as good
at
as golf as he is a football player.
I mean, the golf. Some of those guys that play, Smokes could play golf. A lot of those guys that take the time to play the golf.
For God's sakes, Dion played both.
I think you need a break from. I really do think, because I've heard, I can't remember the name of the kid. We were doing the game, and the kid was going to come out and play for the Legion team. Played like 2 days and said, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. Gave up like playing college ball, everything.
Oh, you get
I
burnt
think,
out.
I think that some of these kids
It'll
get,
ruin
I think
you.
that some
You
of
get
them
burned
get
out.
Yeah,
burnt
Terry,
out. I really do.
we were told I don't know the name or anything like that about a kid that had got offered a scholarship to play baseball in college and turned it down to go do something else because he was tired of it and burned out. And I will say this that
you get tired of it.
I can see how it happens or it could happen, but you need some type of break or
And the other
or
sport,
mental
sport
change.
is. I mean, they come out there and it's like, yeah, football's my sport, but I have a lot of fun playing basketball. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
kids say that, or like kids on the baseball team. They say, well, baseball's my sport, but I played basketball and had a ball, even though they weren't a starter.
And here's
You know,
the
they
thing
just had a
is
good
like
time.
I mean I played year-round soccer when I started in middle school. But that was just because I wanted to be able to play at the next level after high school. That was like a goal of mine. So I knew, like they always told me, they said you got to get at least 1,000 touches. 1,000 touches in a whole year. You got to always touch the ball. It just keeps you fresh, keeps your skills up. But at the same time, I mean, if my buddies wanted to go play pickup basketball, I'm going and playing pickup basketball. You want to go throw football around, I'm going with them. I'm playing football. So, I mean, I may not be playing like an organized game, but I'm still out there doing something different. I'm out there being around my friends. You know, I feel like that's something that a lot of people, they'll lose their friends in that, because it's like, I know when I was younger, I played an all-star baseball one year, and my buddies didn't want to play. They were going and playing on a spring soccer team. Well, I didn't get to see them. So it was like, oh, man. So you lose out on opportunities if you focus on one thing. So you got to be able to make time. And then really, now that I'm older, and I know I'm only in my close to mid-20s, but, I mean, I can feel it in my joints. I mean, my knees kill me. My ankles like Rice Krispie treats when I'm walking around the house at night. I can't sneak anywhere anymore. I just snap, crackle, and pop all around the house. So I probably should have taken a little bit of a break somewhere. Now I'm happy that I kind of do. I'm not out there running 3 miles a day like I used to do just to try and stay in shape. But I just feel like if you want to be great at something, that's great. Focus on it. But you got to give your body a rest and play another sport. And I feel like if they're going to implement this pitch rule thing for a little bit of more of an extended time, they don't try and adjust it to where it's a little bit better for the teams.
Well, they don't do this in any other sport, do they?
No, I honestly was about to say that. What would they?
Is there any other sport that you have?
Because think about it. What if they were like, you can't throw a football 40 times in a game?
Well, my other thing with the pitch count thing is that, can you say, well, Mr. Umpire, I don't want to throw any pitches between innings. Do I get 8 more pitches? Because you're supposed to throw 5 and 8 between each inning.
I don't understand why.
To pick off,
I mean, you're already warm, aren't you?
To pick off throws the first count, Terry. I mean, if I cut off a ball and throw it and try to throw somebody out, does that count?
It's kind of like It's kind of like every coach and every official in the state of North Carolina now has to take the concussion test.
Yeah,
because it's a similar thing. It's like you got people who don't do what they're supposed to do, and now everybody's punished.
Yeah.
And some kids are having to sit out extended periods of time when they're ready to go back, because so many kids have been rushed before they were ready to go back. So this is why you've got this new rules.
I think to fix that, they could maybe extend the pitch count if they still want to keep a pitch count, but then implement, all right, well, you have to sit out a certain amount of days, like a longer amount of time before you can pitch again.
All right, guys, we got to get through the standings and pairings. We have 5 series already over. Union County won first 2 games. Game 3 was postponed for rain, and they won the third one, so they won the series 3-0. Mint Hill beat Maiden 3-1 in their series. Asheville beat Huntersville 3-0 to their series, and Cherryville swept Cleveland County 3-0.
Well, how did Maiden and Shelby both make it?
Burnsville decided they wouldn't have enough players / couldn't play. So
okay,
they didn't play, so they moved Maiden over to the other division.
Oh, okay.
And made them the West Division. Now, so that sets up for tonight. We've got 3 games. Actually, there's a double header between the Gaston Braves and Hendersonville today. It's in Hendersonville. So double header in Hendersonville today beginning at 1 p.m. Burke County and Lincoln County play tonight at Burke County. We'll have that on WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM in Lincoln County with Jason Sane and Ken Link. And then also tonight, Rutherford hosts Pineville Rutherford is the 3 seed, Pineville the 6 seed, as the series is tied 2-2. Let's see. That's the series update. So who plays who? Cherryville will play Gastonia beginning Sunday's the 7th, right? Sunday the 7th? Sunday
Yes,
the 7th, right.
sure
All series begin the 7th, Sunday. So the series will start tomorrow, folks. Lincoln County will be playing Sunday night, too, Hunter. You need to tell me your availability on that one, too, because Ken's out to the 13th. Let's see. So Union County will be playing the, West 3 winner. Where's that at? Union County will be playing Rutherford. Pineville winner. Like I said, Cherryville will be playing Gastonia. Mint Hill will be playing the Burke County, Lincoln County winners. So if Lincoln County wins, they'll be playing Mint Hill, Hunter, on Sunday in Mint Hill. So there's that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then Asheville, of course, will be playing the winner of the Gaston Braves and Henderson County. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. We're way behind on another break. We come back, we'll get into some Major League Baseball, NASCAR, NFL, and I do got one more news note on Kawhi in 1 minute on KTCBroadcasting.com.
The red, white, and blue sale continues this week at Country Camping Corner in Kings Mountain. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings. Now, we had such a good time on Monday, we're going to do it again this Saturday, July 6th at Country Camping Corner in Kings Mountain. We'll be broadcasting live from 10 till 2. Come join us for free Subway sandwiches from Subway in Bossier City, chips and soft drinks, and register to win some great prizes, including tickets to the American Legion Baseball World Series. Also, free golf passes, Gastonia Grizzly and Hickory Crawdad tickets, and much more. And there's plenty of summer left. Country Camping Corner is having one heck of a summer sale down during their red, white, and blue sale. Savings of thousands of dollars and more. There's one for every family, one for every budget. See the selection and come join us this Saturday, July 6th, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. during the red, white, and blue sale at Country Camping Corner, 101 Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass intersection in Kings Mountain. Online at countrycamping.com. Is it time for a new roof for your home or business? If so, call Creason Roofing of Cherryville. Creason Roofing in Cherryville will meet or beat any competitor's pricing on a new roof. That's one of the reasons why they have been serving our area for over 40 years. Steve Creason, along with his wife, son, and daughter, all work together as a family and a team. They take pride in their work and reputation. Just call 704-435-1791 or visit the website at CreasonRoofingLLC.com. Like them on Facebook, too. That's Creason Roofing of Cherryville. Hear that? That's a bunch of bull some unfortunate customer is receiving from another car dealership. It's something you don't get at Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby. Come see the No Bull Man, Dwight Fowler. Dwight and his sales associates will put you in the vehicle of your choice with no bull. Just plain down home good deals. No bull at Ronaldo Auto Mall, home of Ronaldo Honda, Ronaldo Kia, and Ronaldo Buick GMC. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RonaldoAutomall.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
It's time to tee it up at Kings Mountain Country Club. Open to the public 7 days a week. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for $40. And seniors 55 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $24. For your tee time, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club. 100 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. I'll send them in the studio.
Calvin gonna do
Good morning, everybody. What, Tommy? Welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Mitchem's Kitchen Breakfast, 276-1155. For lunch today, guys, I got a special treat for you in Kings Mountain. Subway sandwiches in Kings Mountain today. While they last, free Subway sandwiches. Kings Mountain at Country Camping Corner Inn. As soon as I leave here, it's about a mile from my house, so I'm gonna go up there and eat a Subway sandwich, Sherry, then check out the all the campers they got. We went into the in them last time. Mom and Dad, and they were looking at some pop-ups. I took the kids out to look at some of the luxury ones.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're nicer than my
yeah.
house and kitchen and what they have. There was a couple of them. Now these are RVs, right? So their space is limited.
Yeah.
With full-size islands.
Yeah.
Like,
have you been in a?
Well, space isn't limited. Let's just put something right in the middle of the room.
You ever been in a tour bus?
I don't know, Hunter. You want to explain that one if you have?
No, yeah. Well, my
you're a groupie.
My cousin's family. I don't want to say that with it like you guys getting lost, but it's his aunt's husband owns a bus sale company out in Maiden, Goodson Bus Sales, and so my cousin was graduating from college in Atlanta, and we all wanted to go, so he just used one of the buses that he had for sale, and we took the big tour bus down there, and there were 12 beds in that place, in that thing. 12 beds. Yeah, they were like personal. You could only fit one person in. There was 12 beds. There was a whole like sectional in the back that you could sit in with a sectional in the back you could sit in with a table. Oh my goodness, man, it was the thing was
12
huge.
beds.
It was huge.
Wilt Chamberlain's bedroom was just one giant bed. Just to let you know. Just to let you know, for you Wilt Chamberlain fans out there.
Did you ever see the how MTV Cribs used to be like really big a few years ago? Whenever they did the one with Shaq and they went into his room and it like his bed swallowed that 7'1" monster.
Isn't it crazy how much smaller he is than Yao Ming too? Yao Ming makes him look so tiny. All right, real quick before we go into baseball, Tom and Hunter and Terry, here's a breaking news note on the trades last night.
Breaking news.
The trade that almost happened. Y'all ready?
I saw this.
This was turned down by the Raptors.
I saw this.
Russell Westbrook and Paul George to the Raptors for Pascal Siakam, and they turned it down.
Have something to do with their contracts?
I don't know if that's the reason why, but it might have to do with a gentleman that rhymes with tussle. I don't think they. I don't think they really.
I mean, they turned down a Russell Westbrook and Paul George for Pascal Siakam, so that tells you how high they are.
Well, I think one of the guys quoted it and was like he balked on the Urias. He balked on the trade.
That's what it said. He balked on it. Like, good grief! I don't know what to think about that, Terry. What do you think?
I don't know what to say.
Would you have turned that down, Pascal Siakam?
I mean, but has Pascal Siakam? I know he played great, but has his like worth elevated that much?
It wouldn't have elevated that much.
Think about it. The year before, I think he was only averaging like 9 points a game. And now this year, I think he got up to like 17, 18 points a game. He was hitting some threes. He had a 30-point game in the finals. Like, I mean, he played good. Don't get me wrong. He's got a lot of upside to him. But for Paul George, Thunder are willing to give up both of them?
Do you think the Raptors should just close down the franchise?
The Raptors?
Well, I mean, look, Tracy McGrady left, Vince Carter left, Kawhi Leonard left. Every single good player they've got has left. They're in the Hornets situation. They can't get players to come in. Everybody wants to leave. But they've actually, have made trades and made good draft picks over the years to get these good players. But nobody, every good player leaves Canada.
You know why?
It's cold and it's exchange rate.
Well, no. I'm saying, you know why they won't shut it down? It's because even if they're
They
bad,
make money.
they've got really nothing else to do in Toronto, like sports-wise.
Blue Jays.
Oh, yeah, that's baseball season, though.
And speaking of baseball season, the Blue Jays are in 4th place. Yankees in first by 8.5 games. Twins in first over the Indians by 6.5
Look at the Cleveland
games.
Indians, though. They were out by about 11 or 12 games.
10 games over 500.
And they're now 6.5 back. I don't know if they can catch them.
They can't.
What's that?
They can't.
Well, Terry, they made up 6 games in a month, Terry.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
And they
Tom.
just swept your
baseball.
lowly Royals.
Everything starts to heat up after the All-Star break, and that's coming.
See, but
up,
they're doing
so.
this without Kluber, Clevenger. And they've
No,
really.
I'm not going to put them down. I think Cleveland will catch Minnesota. I think they will.
If they get their players. They got to get, Kluber, they say they're not really sure if he'll come back.
Well, I want to mention something. How many people stayed up last week to watch the games across the ocean?
I didn't.
No.
The Yankees in Boston.
It was a home run fest.
Yes. But you couldn't get nobody out.
I think it was 385 to center field? They playing on a T-ball field?
Yeah, let's put the two most hated teams in baseball out there.
Did you see that guy that they put on television? I think they put it all over. He had like the hat custom made where it was like half New York on one side, half Boston on the other.
That's so London. Y'all don't understand.
The commentator was like, that wouldn't fly stateside.
No, that's
The
that's so
greatest
London.
picture they had from over is when the other guy gave the guy the ball. And
Well,
that
you know
guy
what I
was
would've liked-
standing there with the beard on, and he's got a baseball. It's probably first one ever. He probably never even had one in his hand before.
You know what I'd like to see is them do a promotion where they have the major league players try to hit some cricket.
Oh my!
Over there,
And then have cricket players try and hit a
That's what I said. They
baseball.
should have done some type of cross promotion. I like seeing some of the baseball players trying to hit that, man. The things bouncing.
Surely they're not trying to put a team over there.
Yes, Tom.
But why? But
that's the
why?
goal from every
That's
league.
where the Rays are gonna end up.
Money, Tom. Money.
No,
soon
but
as-
it's not.
Well,
That'd
that's
be like, let's put a cricket team in New York City.
No, well,
That's not
why
gonna
do you
work.
think that we play all these NFL teams over or NFL games over there?
They're going to move it.
If they do,
I
I
not
hope they put
baseball.
the team in the National League.
Well, it has to be in the
Kansas City
National
don't
League.
need to go to no place across
It would
no
have to
ocean
be in the
play
National
nobody.
League.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. There's no way that
Wait.
baseball.
You hope
would
that
make
they
it
just
in
put them
the-
in
cannot
the.
be.
You hope they just put them in
No
the
way.
East because in American League East could still go over there and play.
In the American League West, Astros lead by 6.5 over Oakland. Texas 8 over them, and the Angels, with the greatest player of all time, are still 10 games back. I don't
And they're
understand
one
that.
game over 500.
Seattle fell
Don't
apart.
understand.
Gosh Almighty.
Yeah, they.
All right, over in the National League out west, Dodgers have run away with that one, 60-30 overall.
Wow.
Rockies are 14.5 behind them. Up in the East, the Braves are 6.5. So we've got three divisions at 6.5, one at 8.5, one at 14.5, and so 6.5 is the closest division. Now let's go to the Central, folks. Listen to this. Last place is only 4 games out in the National League Central.
Yeah.
Every division of baseball, the
And the
closest
Reds
second place team
still
is
have a
6.5
great run
games
differential.
out. And in the National League Central, all 5 teams are within 4 games of each other. So if you're looking for competitive, fun baseball, folks, watch NL Central baseball this year. And they're all pretty much – there's 2 teams under 500, but Reds are only 3 games under 500, and we talk about them all the time. They've actually – I looked up last night. They've given up the least runs in baseball, and they're in dead last. Least runs at 323.
Yeah, they got to play Cleveland today, so that'll be interesting to see if Cleveland can score on their pitching staff.
So something scrolled at the
The
bottom.
interesting thing is if the Reds will score on you. They're not scoring on anybody. That's their problem.
While I was in Florida, I was watching Fox Sports, and something scrolled at the bottom, and it was, I think it was during one of the betting shows that they have, and it was World Series odds to win the World Series, and I was happy to see that they actually have the Atlanta Braves as not the favorite, but they're favored to have a chance at winning the World Series this year.
It's good. The Braves are back.
The Braves, they did a great job having young talent. I think they made a great move for Dallas Keuchel. He obviously didn't have the best opening game, but you got to get used to the new area. You're playing different teams than you're used to playing, being in the American League. I think that there's some upside to him. Last year they said that they were a little early making the playoffs when they did. And they were just like a year early. Some say they were a few years early. I think they're right on schedule.
Why would you?
They have two starters in the All-Star game as well.
Can you give me a reason why when Keuchel come over they sent him down and he did AAA first before he moved up?
I'll be honest. I don't know.
I mean, I understand
you
already know what this guy can do. Why send him down there? Was he hurt? I mean,
I don't know if he was hurt. They didn't release if he was hurt. What I don't understand by that is, to him, don't you think that could kind of be a slap in the face? Yeah, we're going to trade for you. We're going to bring you in. You're a Cy Young winner. but we're gonna send you down to AAA first.
Yeah, I did not understand.
We know
that.
what you can do. We're gonna send you to AAA.
Gotta warm up, man.
Okay.
You can warm up in the
Yeah. Why
bullpen.
not?
You can warm up.
So you
You
gotta
can
do
warm up.
that.
You can warm up practicing with the legit squad. I
Hey,
think
I don't
that's
know.
what hurt
I'll
him.
tell
in his
you
first
why,
staff.
and Tom will agree with me. The AAA team needs to sell a couple extra hot dogs. Been low in sales this year, so they need to bring him in. Sell
Low in
some hot
sales.
dogs. I try to tell you, boys, you got hot dogs rule the world. I'm telling you.
If that's the truth, then the Mets, hey, Tebow, you need to sell some hot dogs.
American League wild card settings. Tom, the Indians are in the playoffs. If we started today, half game lead over the A's. The Rays are half game lead in front of the Indians for the fourth.
It's crowded there, though.
Yes,
still within
to give
20.
to give everybody a heads up, no team in the American League is within first place, 6.5 games of first place. However, 3, 6, 7 teams are within 6 games of the wild card.
Yeah, really. Even the Chicago White Sox are still in the mix for that.
And they're
so.
2 games under 500. So
Yeah.
everyone over 500, even the Angels, are in the chance for a wild card right now.
But do they make it? Next time.
All right, looking over the National League. So Terry, you got to thank Jeff Jones for his Orioles again this year. Remember,
That's right.
because they're worse than y'all.
They beat Cleveland 13-0 in back-to-back games.
What y'all doing?
And then Cleveland beat them a third game 2-0, and then they swept Kansas City. But how do you get beat 13-0 by the worst team in baseball 2 games in a row? How's that happen?
The baseball stats are fun. The red stats are fun. The other one I like is, of course, I like the Cardinals stat. They were 20-10 at one point, best record in baseball. Since, Tom, they've went 24-32, and they're a game and a half out. They are 24-32 in their last 50-some games, and they're a game and a half out of first place.
Yeah, that division is, like you said, it's anybody's.
It's crazy.
The last place team's only 4 games out.
So over in the wild card, looks how many teams are available in the National League. Oh, every team but the Marlins are 7 within 7 games. Every team in the National League still has a shot of making the playoffs.
They
Terry.
can't say
that's pretty neat.
They
isn't it?
cannot say there isn't any parity in baseball.
That's neat. I like that. I mean,
there are no super teams in baseball.
think about it. You're a 3-game winning or losing streak from dropping or rising so quickly.
Well, there's a concern that attendance is down in Major League Baseball games.
Imagine that.
Especially once your team.
Yeah.
So this is.
Think they're
really
fixing
good.
it. Is this price fixing?
I say maybe this is helping fix the problem.
Oh, that's always been a thing. Like when me and Terry talk about it all the time, especially in these small markets, they're screwed. Like if they can't sign a player, and then you're not good enough to compete,
playoff.
then nobody's in the stands.
Yeah.
The last 80, 100, you play 81 home games. So let's say you got 40 games of nobody there, or 50 like the Rays. There's just so much money, and then still. The outfielders are getting paid more than the owners in the NBA.
That's how I was confused. That's how I was confused. Trout even got that money because the Angels have been really
TV money so
they've
big.
been
It's
nothing
ridiculous.
for years, like contention wise, compared to the other team in the Los Angeles area, the Dodgers. If they both played on the same night, both home games in LA, you mean to tell me more people are at an Angels game than a Dodgers game? I don't think so.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
When Major League Baseball comes up and they do total head count for today's game do they mean they counting the people who had season tickets that never showed up today?
Yes.
I don't think they do.
It's paying attention. It's paid.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's paid. Definitely paid. I think they got 2 different numbers.
They're
They
probably
got
going
it paid and they got actually.
They're obviously going to count what the revenue.
I don't think they
Whether
should. I don't
anybody in that seat or not, we're going to count.
Yeah,
it.
if it's paid for, I don't think they. I'm not sure if they.
I think they
So
just.
no wonder when you look at a stadium at Miami and
there's nobody.
they say
in the
there's
stand.
37,000 people here today and you only see 500.
Yeah.
No.
That's how that works. All right, JP, you ready for another break? All right, if y'all had to pick real quick before we go, we'll do this again.
Mhm.
World Series today. Who you got?
AL, NL, like both teams.
Giants and Dodgers.
Yes, that's how it
I
works.
thought you meant just the winner. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, give me who's in the World Series. You going for Earthquake?
I'm going
That's
Giants
Terry's
and
calling
Dodgers.
the Earthquake series again, even though they wouldn't play each other.
Giants.
And Dodgers play in the National League. I'm waiting for him to figure that out.
I thought you meant for the World Series.
World Series, Terry.
No, it'd be the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Yankees and Dodgers.
I'm gonna take the Astros and dude, I'm gonna give the Braves a shot. I'm gonna give them a shot. They're winning their series. I'm gonna give them a shot. The Astros and the Braves.
You're learning. You're just like a Cowboy fan.
So in the
Good job.
last few years, you know, Cardinals have tattooed the Astros and the Red Sox and a couple other teams here and there. Detroit. We're gonna take care of the Yankees this year. They deserve one good whooping this year in the playoffs. I'd like it for it to be the Indians. That'd be fun.
Cleveland's going to get their pitchers healthy, and they're going to go to the World Series.
So I got Cardinals, and we all picked our favorite team
Great
except the Royals. Terry couldn't do that.
I'm sorry.
You got to
get there. You got to get there.
All right, folks, we got to take a break. We'll be right back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark. I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s. My guest this 4th of July weekend will be former soldier and country star Craig Morgan. We'll talk about the many things he does for the military, plus we'll talk about his favorite country stars. That's Craig Morgan with me on Country Gold with Terry Clark.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Make your business or office the boss of Carolina Country listener post today. All you have to do is tune your radio in your business or office to 107.5 FM or to 92.3 FM. Let us know and we'll put your name on the radio. And each month we'll have a drawing from an area listening post for a dozen breakfast biscuits from the Creekside Clock in Shelby, along with coffee or tea. Area listening posts include Promotion Motors of Lincolnton, Cherryville Signs and Graphics, Lowe's of Lincolnton, Watson Carpet and Tile in Lincolnton, RD Mattress in Cherryville, Carolina Furniture Mart in Lincolnton, Memory Lane Antiques in Krause, Davis Brothers Automotive in Lincolnton, and It's Your Feed in Cherryville. So make your business or office a boss or a Carolina Country listening post today. There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com.
Check out the new rates at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's #1 golf course. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $28. After 1 p.m., just $25. Seniors 55 and older play and ride for $25 Monday through Friday, and Monday is Ladies' Day. Play and ride for only $18. And on weekends and holidays, play and ride for only $38. After 11 a.m. for $33. Crowders Mountain Golf Course. For your tee time, call 704-734-0383.
Hear that? That's a bunch of bull some unfortunate customer is receiving from another car dealership. It's something you don't get at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Come see the No Bull Man, Dwight Fowler. Dwight and his sales associates will put you in the vehicle of your choice with no bull. Just plain down home good deals. No bull at Renato Auto Mall, home of Renato Honda, Renato Kia, and Renato Buick GMC. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
With a roster full of young superstars, the sky's the limit for the 2019 Atlanta Braves, and we'll bring you every huge moment.
Acuna running out of room on the warning track, leaping, made the catch. What a play by Acuna.
Atlanta Braves baseball back again on the Boston Carolina Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville, Gastonia. Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTC Broadcast.
And we're back.
Welcome back to KTC Broadcasting. Talking a little bit, there was a little article here on the internet that says, who's your sports hero growing up? And Terry's question was somebody that wasn't that big of a star who that you like to watch in one of the sports or in one of them. Yeah, and Hunter G, or did y'all have one? We don't have name.
I had one for football. You know, he never played in a big market. Won a Heisman though in college. He was a consistent quarterback. Carson Palmer. I loved watching Carson Palmer play. I thought he was a good professional. He was a good professional.
Mm-hmm. And you don't consider him a star?
I don't consider him a star.
Number 1 overall pick.
I don't consider him a star. I think
so. Is Tony Romo a star?
He got lost in the moment. See,
undrafted Romo, is he a star?
Tony, if this is how I'm looking at it. If you're talking to a person that doesn't pay attention to football a lot, they would know Tony Romo's name before they know who Carson Palmer was. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
Like household names, big names. Carson Palmer, I mean, he hardly ever won playoff series. Never really, because he was in Cincinnati his whole career, you know, until he went to the Cardinals.
So I'll say some of the ones just to give you tops of the head. Just I guess these are gonna be the ones that some of my favorites that didn't get enough credit. I would say for how good they are. I don't think that Edmonds gets as much credit as he does. Willie McGee never did. And Yadier Molina, I don't see how he don't get the credit that he deserves in all this. The Cardinals, they didn't start winning World Series. They weren't good until they got Matheny catching, and then they weren't really good until they got Yadier catching. So I mean, we had all these teams after year after year after year. And we make this talk all the last few weeks or whatever. Would you rather have the best catcher in baseball or the best outfielder in baseball? Mm-hmm. Barry Bonds didn't win one. King Griffey Jr. didn't win one. I mean, you know, so I always thought Yadier don't get enough credit. The catchers don't on that.
Mine is like on us tone. Mine was Ray Allen if I had to pick a guy because he is always on good teams, but he is always the guy
Terry,
left out.
You can't say someone named Jesus is not a star. That's Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
For you folks who don't know, he was in a movie called He Got Game, and his name was Jesus. Okay, so there you go. For
Tom, you got a player
in any sport?
Bernie Kosar, just say it. You
in
know
any
it.
Sport,
you know it.
Bernie Kosar. You grew up here. I mean, he was from my hometown. He would have went to the high school that I was going to go to, but then his dad got a scholarship, took him to a private school.
Found out Tom.
Yeah, but he was. A long story. It's I guess people around here aren't interested. But yeah, he was. I'm trying to think. You know, I always talk about was a star, but it was when he was older. I liked to watch him play. Was Nolan Ryan? I mean, he was well beyond his prime. Like he's in his mid-40s. But I remember when ESPN first started covering Sunday Night Baseball, way back in the early '90s. You know, this is their big thing. And I used to always like to watch old middle-aged. I was like, man, this is amazing. This guy's like 45 years old, and he's still getting, 15 strikeouts.
Oh, yeah, he was slinging
So I used to love to watch him because it was just kind of like a little nostalgia. Then they would show him like back when he was, he had to start back in the late 60s or early 70s when he started pitching. And it was just like, I always liked the older guys that were a little past their prime, but we're still hanging on and playing, and that's one that sticks out in my mind. And I do have the figurine, and I keep forgetting to bring it in, Kevin. I need to bring that. You don't think I have it?
We'll get him up. We'll get him up there one day.
Yeah, but definitely growing up, Bernie, because when I was a kid playing in the backyard, I'd try to throw it. You were talking about throwing sidearm. I remember he threw sidearm.
I would bring in my favorite.
I got one. I got a name for Terry, and I know he's going to agree to this. And he might even have a jersey of it. I would expect Terry to have this guy's jersey. Terry, the all-time non-star Dallas Cowboy.
All time.
See if you can name who I'm thinking about.
Non-star
Dallas Cowboy. Super Bowl champion. Huh?
Bill Bates is who I was going to say.
I wrote it down, Bill Bates.
Dang, I was going to say Bill Bates.
He named it. I wrote
Bill
it down.
Bill Bates is one of my favorites, and I hated the Cowboys.
Y'all talking about non-star players. He's
Bill
the Captain Hustle.
awesome.
He's the Tyler Hansborough of the Dallas Cowboys.
It seemed like he always had
140%.
Hey, he had a little cut right there on his nose every game.
Psycho team. He had a little crazy in him. He was a special teams.
Yeah.
They made the special teams player because of him, of what he would do.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I remember. I tell you who else was an underrated backup, Terry, back in those days was Sherman Williams as the change of pace back.
Yeah.
Daddy called him Paint Can. Sherman Williams.
Well, I mean, we also mentioned when I was talking about Cowboys, Robert Newhouse. A lot of people didn't like him. I like what he did.
Another football player.
All right,
I liked watching Santana Moss when he was early in his career as a slot receiver. I liked Santana Moss a lot.
Underrated Tar Heels that I thought that didn't get enough credit. Anton Jameson, he got caught in the tweener generation of are they going to move him to where are they going to play him. He had a couple of 50-point games in the NBA, averaged 20-something a bunch of years in a row. They couldn't never decide. He was in the middle of that generation going from the Jordan generation to now to where you shoot threes and not. Yeah. So they were moving him back and forth.
Okay, wait. When you say underrated Tar Heels, can this count if he was good when he was there, but he never made it in the professional game?
Yeah, every point guard has ever played.
I was going to say Kendall Marshall.
Every point guard has ever played for Carolina.
Kendall Marshall.
Just name. They're probably the best university as far as
college
point guards who could make the NBA Kenny. I mean, if you Kenny Smith's the only one that's really won anything, and he's not the best one.
Ty Lawson played really good. When
I would argue
Denver
Ty
teams.
Lawson's the best they've ever had, just from what I've seen overall. But some people aren't Ty Lawson fans. And Rasheed Wallace, by God, that's my favorite Tar Heel ever. And he was one of those ones that everybody forgets when they start talking about Garnett in the game. He was one of the very first big men that went out and shoot threes. And he shoot right and left-handed threes. He can shoot them both hands. Like, he's ambidextrous that way. He's always one of my favorite. He was Dirk before Dirk.
My favorite state guy. And don't get me wrong, people going to say David Thompson.
Chris
David
Corciani.
Thompson. No. And he's still in the NBA coaching. Nate McMillan.
Is it? You like Nate?
I always loved that guy. That guy knew how to run the point guard system.
I did want to put this up against you, too. We'll do it here after the show and see, just off the top of your head, who's got better basketball players in the history of the schools, NC State or Ohio State? That would be a good starting five matchup, I think, if we started.
I don't know, man, though, because Greg Oden was a hell of a bust.
Oh, Jim Jackson.
I was going to say Jim Jackson. People don't forget about him.
He was pretty good.
D'Angelo Russell.
Jay Burson, the little point guard they had way back.
Mike Conley, D'Angelo Russell.
Those
got to deal with David Thompson.
Two good guards.
Would Rodney Monroe be starting?
And I'd go with Nate McMillan at my point. Even though Chris Corciani led us, Nate McMillan would be my point.
You wouldn't start Hodge at point guard?
Hey, don't forget.
What about Julius?
Hey,
that's what he played.
Don't forget the good old Vinny Del Negro and
Rodney Monroe may be my number two man.
That was what I was going to ask. Was Rodney be your people? He's the underrated one. Is Rodney
Chucky Brown or Chucky
Brown? That's what I'm talking about. Chucky Brown, Thurl Bailey.
Yeah. I thought Rodney Monroe was going to score 20 a game in the NBA. I really did. I thought he was going to be really good.
Chucky Brown was a consistent guy in the NBA.
They had some Shackelford too. I mean, they had
Washburn. If you
listen, first of all, your starting power forward is Tom Gugliotta. I don't care what anybody says, and he made the freaking dream team.
He just didn't play a lot.
He got hurt,
though, did he? Gugliotta He didn't play for a long time.
No. Who was the guys we was coming up? And I can't think of Al McGuire.
Yeah,
he was the first guy that was on national television. Him and Billy Packer, and all of a sudden he goes. Chris Washburn is a man-child in this game. They were playing North Carolina that day, and Washburn was just lighting them up like it was nothing. And he come out and said that.
Yeah, I'd have to say over the last 30 years, NC State's probably had. I mean, I guess because I've grown up down here and been around all this ACC ball, you can't help it. You know, that used to be the big thing on Saturday morning. You get up, man, and ACC ball was on. Because you didn't have a lot of stations back then, so it would be like
and
ACC.
You knew State and Carolina was going to be
on
your
State, Carolina.
One of the few states where when you're growing up and the basketball tournament is on, it is on in every classroom in high school.
It used to be.
It's not now. No,
not like it used to be.
All right, guys, real quick before we get out of here, let's go over the NASCAR schedules for today. They've got the
Daytona,
the Coke, Sugar Zero, Water. Gosh, Lee. JP, do you got that name in there on the piece of paper?
Coke Zero Sugar 400.
There
it's
you
pretty
go.
bad when even I know that.
It's not that I don't know it. It's a tongue twister.
You know why I know that, Kevin? Is I read the paper this morning.
All right, Tom. Who is going to be? Who's got the poll today? I bet I get it.
I think they went by
Logano.
Did they go by standings? I think Logano. I think they went by the standings, didn't they?
Yes, Logano.
Yeah.
Logano, Busch, Keselowski. You know, this is Daytona, so it really don't matter where they start.
Right.
Probably need to look at practice speeds more than anything.
Chicagoland was nice last week, though. If you watched that race.
Yes, Terry, you want to talk a little bit about that? I mean, that's what we was talking about before the show started. Was the Chevy started off so good and had a good day. Jimmy Johnson finishes has a good day. Let's see.
Why did they do it by? They got rained out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Yeah, they got rained out. Yeah.
Now I clicked on Chicagoland results and it sent me to Sonoma. You don't do that when you click on the newspaper, does it?
Did it again.
When are they doing the Roval again in Charlotte?
October.
Okay.
I'm planning on being there for that one. Watched on TV this year. I do want to be in the stand. I want to sit there right near the turn.
I may go and watch that one. I haven't been to a race in years.
I'll sit in and see if we get some pit passes or something, Tom, or maybe see if we can get some.
That'd be a good.
Some media passes for that.
Break
you want to go to that? All right, we can check on that. Real quick, I want to look back at Chicago last week. Where's my results? Because doesn't give us too many times we get to talk about the Chevrolets. Alex Bowman picking up his first win in the 88 car. Kyle Larson second. Jimmy Johnson finished fourth, who was running pretty good the whole day. out in Chicago. In Chicagoland, the good news for the Chevy folks, Terry, that's a big super speedway. It's not a that's what they've been struggling on big times, and it's not one of they've been okay in the short tracks and then in the drafting, but they've struggled big time in these bigger tracks like this, right?
They have, and Alex Bowman last week, he led and he's finished second so many times, and after he got past, and I know there's like 8 laps left or something like that, everybody thought he was done, but then he come back and passed him back again to take the lead back and ended up winning, but for him, it showed he didn't give up, because once he got past, I thought, okay, that's it. He'll finish second again. But he didn't. So, but congratulations to him. Congratulations for Hendricks for starting to turn the whole thing around.
What is it, huh? You all right?
Okay, I get on Twitter because Twitter is hilarious at moments, but I usually use it for quick updates on sports. I know this is not NASCAR related. We've already discussed this, but I did. So what's today's date, gentlemen? Today is July 6th. Okay. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so on July 6th of last year, the mayor of Oklahoma City put out this tweet and a proclamation that July 7th is to be Paul George Day in Oklahoma City.
So that's tomorrow.
For him re-signing. So tomorrow in Oklahoma City, you get to go outside and you get to celebrate the Los Angeles Clippers' new player, Paul George.
You think he loses any votes over that, Tom? It loses any votes. Just one vote over that.
Mayors in the South are just cheerleaders anyway. They all got managers, so what does it matter what
Oklahoma
the
City,
mayor does?
the South.
Man, that tweet aged well.
Terry, Gugliotta was on the 2000 Team USA, made the final 12, and then Shaq hurt him. Remember? People don't know that.
I'm going to tell you something else.
Tom, who's the leading scorer on the first 2 Dream Teams?
Leading scorer?
Yep.
First 2 Dream Teams?
Yep.
Charles Barkley.
There you go, folks.
One more note.
There you go, folks.
Don't forget, this past week was Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes, it was.
It was.
All right,
He
folks,
got
we've
another
got
couple million.
American Legion Baseball tonight, Lincoln County. Then tomorrow we'll have Cherryville, American Legion Baseball in Gastonia from Cherryville. And then we'll also have maybe Lincoln County if they win tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
And then, folks, go to KDCBroadcasting.com, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. That'll give you all the up-to-dates schedules. And then, of course, we got racing tonight and Braves this afternoon, folks. I want to thank everybody for listening this morning and watching on YouTube. Hello to all our YouTube watchers. Share the video online with your friends and everybody so more people can check us out. And our intern Peyton has been cutting up the segments a little bit to make it easier to watch.
I saw that. I watched some of them when I was down in Florida. I was like, wow, did I really say that? Okay.
So you go back and check out the dumb things we said in a few weeks. If you you can go all the way back to last summer and see where I picked the Raptors if you want. So go ahead, folks. All right, we'll be back next week on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible as we go into the afternoon.